Good, good. Just making sure. Just making sure. But yeah, man, we finally got a. It's 52 weeks, but we finally got a collab. We
Hey man,
finally
I'm
have
glad
a
to be
collab.
here. This is y'all are some of the first people that like inspired me to like, just keep going in this movie world because I feel like all critics, they feel like they have a place, but you really gotta keep staying on what you do and voicing how you love movies and appreciate them. And y'all do that in your own style. So that's always gave me the motivation to keep going at here at Third Eye. So I appreciate that.
That's
Yeah.
dope. Thank you so much. We definitely appreciate that. And for anybody listening, this is Swerve from the Third Eye Movie Review Podcast. What's
Yes, it
going
is.
on? Thank you so much for joining us.
I'm glad to be here all the way in Missouri. I'm here, glad to be here with y'all. Was it good though? I'll be listening to y'all when y'all do it, man. So y'all be cracking me up. Love y'all natural vibe and what y'all bring to the show. So that's stuff I can resonate with. So yeah, I'm glad to be here and let's chop it up.
Oh yeah. And for anybody who can't tell, episode 52 is going to be our Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. And anybody that follow any of us on our socials, they know we've been talking about this movie ever since it dropped, ever since we went to the theaters.
Yeah.
So, and this is your spoiler alert. So if you haven't seen it, definitely pause the pod. But
You
before
gotta
you
get out.
go, I
Gotta
mean,
get
they definitely got to get out there.
out.
But just be sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, all of that. Drop some comments. We about to geek out in this episode.
Oh, for sure. Let me ask you something real quick. Like, how I don't get how people are just like, oh, I'll wait till it comes out, like to see it. That drives me crazy. Just like Avatar just getting ready to come out, you know what I'm saying? Like people had to wait super long to see that. That was back in December. So don't wait on Across the Spider-Verse. You got to see that now. And you're gonna probably see it 2 or 3 times. So
Well, I'm just speak for me. I still haven't seen Avatar.
oh,
You like that? You enjoyed that?
yeah, Avatar it's up there. That's a whole different talk though. But when y'all watch that, we'll talk about that for sure.
Got you, got you. Yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, that you know, I was a pup when the first one came out. Damn near a grown ass man since the second one. So it wasn't on my. I'm not saying. I'm gonna get to it at some point in life, but right now, like you said, this is that Marvel talk. But we introduce y'all to Swerve. I'm Jason from the Was It Good Though podcast. This is Jazz. How are you today?
I am good, excited, ready for this
Ready.
discussion, this episode.
Oh
Ready.
yeah, we finna get into it. We
Oh,
finna get
Jason,
into it.
how are you?
I'm amazing.
Oh,
I'm
Oh, and
you
for
amazing.
know
my
what?
people that
Amazing.
don't know where y'all from.
Oh, this is Jazz. I'm from North Carolina, but I reside in Florida. I'm not saying I'm from Florida. I'm not doing that.
And Jason, I am originally from Memphis, Tennessee, but I do currently reside in Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay. That's what's up.
Yeah.
And I'm all the way
So
here in Missouri. All 3 different black podcast hosts. We're about to crack it down. It's gonna be some Spider-Verse talking. Let's crack it off, man. I'm excited.
yeah, we're gonna get into it. We definitely finna get into it. But of course, as always, please like, share, subscribe. Let us know how we're doing. Converse with us. We do have a Discord community, so we get in there and we talk about movies, especially something like this, but also other things because we won't be able to get to everything.
Right.
But before we begin, we definitely want to begin with the original movie, Into the Spider-Verse. So with this one, we got introduced to Miles. Introduced to Miles Morales. He's coming into himself. And something I caught on the rewatch for myself was, and this is just pretty much what the movie was about to me. Let me know if this is fair or an oversimplification. Was it just about a kid who was unsure of himself, becoming sure of himself?
100%. Couldn't have said it better. Man, that was powerful. That was just the simplest way you could have said that right there.
Bro, I was high and I was just like, hey, yo. And I'm gonna tell you what made me come to that realization. So in the beginning of the movie, he wasn't sure of himself. He wasn't sure of the school. He wasn't sure of his father, his relationships. The only one thing he was sure of was Aaron, his uncle. That's the only thing he knew he loved. And I'm not saying he didn't love his father, his mother, but he knew for a fact he loved Aaron because the relationship. Once he lost that, he kind of lost grips of reality and he had to become a different person, become a different thing to become this amazing being that he had to, in 2 days, save an entire multiverse that he had never even heard about. He got bit by a spider one day. 2 days later, he's having to protect Spider-Man, watch the hero of his his dreams get killed in front of him. And then you have that moment, that leap of faith moment when he's on that building, he has to jump off. That's him coming into himself. But remember, it was always the fact of him still, he it was like he was sure of himself, but he was still kind of, I mean, we gonna always be, you jumping into something new, we're still gonna kind of be afraid
Question
of it.
stuff. Yeah, for
So
sure.
I felt like that's where, though, that's the reason the glass cracked. Because if he was 100% sure of himself, the glass wouldn't have came up on his hand, which they kind of brought that back in this movie, which I loved Hobie, but we'll get to that. We'll get
A
to
whole
it
different
later.
thought.
It ties back to him becoming really sure of himself. But of course, that was my thought process. Did you guys have anything to add with what Into the Spider-Verse was to you, meant to you, or how it made you feel?
Yeah, I could definitely back off of that. I would say that me being 25, I could definitely sit there and resonate with, the kid Miles becoming, people really becoming known of who Miles is, outside of being Miles and the Spider-Man. It sucks that it takes being the Spider-Man for people to dig into really who Miles is, with all his troubled relationships with his father. It's not even troubled, but it's just like that power of communication with all these relationships and people he's got going on. So it makes that, him becoming himself so much harder because he can't balance, the time and life of things going on to really, put everything in the time lapse of becoming himself and becoming the best Spider-Man. But he kind of knows it. And like you said, it's just like his Uncle Aaron and, Gwanda and all the stuff that, wanting to be a normal kid that comes in the way of, am I really wanting to do the Spider-Man life? And I think I think that resonates back to growing up and what you really want to be in all these things you want to do in life, with, sticking to it and not giving up and stuff. So, everything's trial and error, man. So he could have been the one to give up. But if we didn't have that journey of growing with Miles with Into the Spider-Verse, I don't think we would have got the beauty of Across the Spider-Verse.
I 100% agree. I don't know. I can't bring nothing to match what y'all just said. Like both of y'all responses was fire. So,
Man,
I think that's what, like, someone told me, like, I was trying to talk to someone and they were like, man, what grown person goes to watch an animated movie? Like,
whoa.
yeah, like I was like, hold up. You can't say nothing until you watch Into the Spider-Verse, because that movie brought, inspiration to like Puss in Boots and all that stuff. So once you get into that world of that movie and understand like what it's trying to resonate, within us as people, it's so much more than just an animated film. You grow through all the characters. It's just a beautiful movie.
Yeah, and I definitely want to add, because I know that you just mentioned Puss in Boots, and I listened to your episode that you dropped this past Tuesday when you mentioned Intergalactic as well.
Yes.
Because we reviewed that movie, and JC, remember when I had told you when I first saw this movie, it immediately made me think of Into the Spider-Verse. And I was just like, oh, I definitely got to continue watching this. And then as it went on, like they were discussing, it was for adults. Even if it's animated or not, like you're gonna get very great dialogue and a great story. So
yes, all adults need to watch that movie one time in life. And just the same with Into the Spider-Verse, like you can't judge anything by the title. So man, you got to get uncomfortable to get comfortable sometimes. And
man, that's it.
Spider-Verse does it for sure.
That's truly what the movie is about. Like, being uncomfortable,
yes,
becoming comfortable with the uncomfortable. But also speaking on the intergalactic, because you brought it up, that's one thing that I feel like part of the reason this movie was so great. Not saying that movie, but because of the animation style, it seems very similar. Like they went ballistic with the animation within this movie. So the visuals in this, they're crazy. And when we begin the movie, we start with Gwen. Still, it comes on with Gwen. I remember, I'm like, man, I don't recall them mentioning the band when I did the rewatch. She when she introduces herself in her story, she says she joined the band. So it comes on. You see the drum pattern is going, the beat, the music within this movie was amazing as well. The
Yes.
way they put the soundtrack or interweave the soundtrack within the story, and we get the full picture of Gwen's story. So we kind of had an idea, but we really didn't know. Were any of y'all surprised
No,
by the story that she got? That's the story that we received from Gwen.
the story we received in this movie, I felt like we didn't know anything about Gwen in the first movie. Like, it was they opened the whole package, within this, and Metro Boomin, like, man, like, I don't know if it's just me, but like I also resonate with these movies because, like, Miles is black. He's the black Spider-Man. So we resonate different. We could sit there and get into all these small conversations, just like when he's talking to his mom and stuff, and just like and his dad, and the black humor that they got that some people aren't laughing at, but we're laughing at. It's a whole different, like, it's a whole different style. And you come back to Gwen, and you got to put yourself outside of yourself to really understand her, and what different people go through and stuff. And man, I thought it was great because, like, what we got in this movie, we didn't know anything about Gwen, and I'm here to grow with their story as her and Miles grows together too, because they got the same path but such a different story, and the way Metro Boomin ties like the instruments and all that in the journey of how the two connect, and how music is so powerful, that it cleanses them out to be the best Spider-Man they can be, and becoming what they need to be. It's just powerful. And I thought Gwen's performance was awesome.
Yeah, I definitely loved it. And then when I did my rewatch, you pretty much get the whole story of the movie from when she was telling it. And it blew my mind because I was thinking, wait, did this all happen in between a year and 4 months that, passed by? But then once I did my rewatch, I was like, the artwork, the visuals in this was giving you messages. Like the 42, like so many different things. I thought it was just random images from the movie.
Black
and then on my
power, man.
rewatch, I was just like, holy shit. That's why, like, I will say this till I don't have any more words. So a lot of movies are worth rewatches because you have a different experience once you come back around for stuff that's just like, I didn't even see that the first time I watched this. And it just makes you appreciate the story a lot more. But
man, there's a lot of black power in this movie, man. I love it. I love it.
Nah, that's a fact. That's a fact. When Gwen's Peter died, that felt very similar to when Aunt May passed in No Way Home. That's what that made me actually think about from that conversation of when they were sitting there right before she passed away. So that was super similar. And the music that played actually reminded me a lot of the Stranger Things that Kate Bush song. Up the music when Max, running up the hill. That's exactly what that music reminded me of, and I don't know if that was intentional. Which, I mean, it would be genius if it was, because
I don't doubt it. Metro's perfect.
He's tapped in. Tapped in, and for that, what that song did and what it was and shit, what it still is today. Like that song took off because of, and like you said, music and TV can be powerful, and if you can do it the right way, it's gonna resonate with whoever watching.
I got a question for y'all. Do you think, like, if you don't have any background on Metro Boomin, on how he works, you're gonna have a different appreciation on this film? Because I feel like going in and knowing how Metro does albums and how he works and laps beats and stuff, you kind of like it never dropped like Metro Boomin wants some more. That never dropped, but you kind of feel like in the album, you feel like in the Metro Boomin album, and back to Into the Spider-Verse with Miles, he's in there doing the Sunflower song and stuff. You really connect with the music then, and you're in Gwen's world. But when Miles come to the screen and the music behind it, you're just like, man, I'm in the Metro album with Miles living his life, I'm here for him. And like, it was just a great journey. It was a great journey. It was beautiful, powerful. Some of the best music.
It was. But Metro is one of the few that can do a nice R&B blend, a nice hip hop blend, and kind of put everything together. Because like even within the music within the movie, like I said, just even from the Futures, I haven't really got all the way through. Of course, I've read everything, but from what I've listened to, it's definitely a nice blend, a nice mixture of the music that he has.
What do y'all think about Gwen and her dad? What about Gwen's dad and Miles' dad situation? Like, two totally different situations, huh?
I mean, are
To
they
an
that
extent.
much different though?
Mhm.
Because I think the only difference between the dads is I think Gwen's father is just so hell bent on trying to get rid of Spider-Woman because he thinks that she killed Peter. But
Right.
see, like with Miles' dad, he's working with Spider-Man. So that you have that kind of Commissioner Gordon and Batman type of relationship, except
Right.
Commissioner Gordon ain't real aggressive towards Batman because probably he talked too deep. But we gonna stay over in this.
I'm gonna say a little bit because he didn't like Spider-Man up until Spider-Man died. Once Spider-Man passed, and he's seeing this new one, his I guess his mind flipped about that situation
Mm-hmm.
because prior to he didn't like because
He didn't
that's
like
because like
Spider-Man.
when he after Miles seen he died, he was like, "You really don't like Spider-Man, Dad?" Like he didn't know why he was asking that question. Like, I mean, I ain't saying I don't like him, but I just don't agree with some of his methods. Is what I'm going to. So with the new, more so the new Spider-Man, I think that was Jefferson's journey within the story is him being open to new things, which oftentimes we talk about parents not being open to certain things. So just seeing the relationship between Mr. Stacy and Gwen, and then Jefferson and his father, and Jefferson and his son, which is Miles. I think it's like you said, Jay, it's not. I think the relationships are very similar. It's just their parents. They want their kids are in high school. They want the best for their children within that situation. And I don't think either one of them are trying to control their kids' life, but I do feel like they're both of the kids are in that adolescent, they're trying to figure their shit out. So
And at the same time, like, you know, man, Miles said something different, like about the men and their mental health. That line, man,
Oh
that
yeah,
resonated fucking fire with me because like as like being a young black man and my dad, he didn't have the best track record growing up, so I had to build a different name for our family name coming up. And you know your father's a young you, so he's seen all the moves, how you think, how you talk, and all that. So they're always going to be trying to talk to you in a way that you're not moving right. But at the end of the day, we know what we're doing to be the best us, and it comes to communicating and just being upfront and what you got going on in all ways, to especially from your donor, because that's all you got. We only got one parent and all that. So just small communication in the world brings a lot of clarity to all of us as people, and that's like mental clarity. And I feel like in all ways, and that was a big part of this. That was a big part of the Spider-Verse movie that made me really appreciate it. Because it's just such more. It was so much more than just appreciating the Spider-Man. It was within all the characters. You got to really appreciate and go into like what they got going on. And it goes back to like mental health, and like you said, just really understanding what we all got going on. Not just Miles, not just Gwen, but Gwen understanding her father. Miles understanding his dad is, and that's just the beauty of the movie, man. I love that.
but you was going to say something, Jazz? I feel like
mm-mm.
okay, got you. But we get introduced to Vulture. Obviously, the just Vulture from the
We didn't get a
Renaissance.
lot
So
of time, do we?
yeah,
I was vibing with him though.
it was. Man, what's it? So you guys a little Beyonce Easter egg in there. You gotta have the Renaissance in there, right? Jazz? I'm just a
I,
beehive. I'm beehive alone.
I'm not Beehive.
Okay. So we get Vulture. I really enjoyed this character. I did.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this. I enjoyed this fight scene. Gwen, she pretty much on her shit. Like Gwen knows what she's doing. She's definitely I think she know I feel like she was one of the most
Level-headed.
yes, that's the word. Most level-headed spider person
Yes.
in this movie. She made some decisions, some emotional decisions, but again, she's a kid, so we kind of expect some of those.
Yeah.
But we get introduced to Miguel O'Hara. We did see him in the not the Easter egg, but the end credit of the previous movie. What how y'all feeling about Miguel O'Hara
This
from
nigga, this
Nueva
nigga gotta
York?
go. This nigga gotta go.
He's giving me Blade vibes, but of course
Big
he's a
time.
spider vampire. But it's like he tries to be so serious and eerie, which I love that about him. But then when the situation is all comical, like when the baby was crawling on him, I know we're not even there yet, but normally when a movie first drops, it's open dialogue anyway. But like when the baby was crawling on him, he just sitting there, and then the baby falls, And then I was just like, oh, he wants to be so serious. But
Right. That's why he got to go, you know.
he got his ass beat a few times.
And you kind of see the vibe that vibe when they brought Miles into the Spider Society was fire. And you kind of see the world without Spider-Man 2099 and what they're kind of trying to picture. And I'm like, okay, like this is definitely gonna come to a story of Miles figuring out himself when we'll get to that in a bit. But yeah, like he's gonna have to figure out Spider-Man 2099 too. And I think what he brought to the screen was definitely powerful in the animation style and what was going on. But he got to go.
So
I mean, go ahead, Jazz.
I was gonna say, did y'all catch like his entrance? He had a cape.
Yeah, it disappeared, right?
Yeah.
When he came into the shot?
When he came into the shot, like he just standing there.
Yeah, I thought I saw
like
that
a little
too.
blade, like a little vampire type. That's what I felt, like a vampire type.
So, and I think because I've been watching Spider-Man's. Wasn't it previously referenced in one of the films that Spider-Man shouldn't have a cape?
The last movie.
It was into the Spider-Verse.
He said Spider-Man don't. He said Spider-Man don't wear capes.
Yeah,
right.
And they go into like that Spider-Man sanctuary, and then he looks up at the cape, and Peter's just kind of like laughing, you know.
Yeah,
right.
but I love that they paid that off as well in the What If series when they gave Spider-Man Doctor Strange cape. He put the cape on and he was flying around with the cape in there as well. So that, I mean, Spider-Man comes out with hella different suits, so you never know.
I'm gonna take off that. I appreciated this film because like that way too. I feel like with Doctor Strange in the Multiverse, we were expecting a lot visually, but the dialogue didn't bring that movie up to the height. This movie, this is how you blend all that together, like, you know, animation, dialogue, transitions, and all that. This is that. Like when Miles dove into the portal and went to the multiverse and they were doing he was going through all the different worlds. I was like, yo, like, hey, that was giving me Doctor Strange vibes. And, you know, like if they just got to pick up on that dialogue, you know, and Spider-Verse has all that. And I feel like that's where we can resonate as fans. You know, we really feel into the animation from the facial scrunchions and the music and all that. It's just powerful.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick up on your point. What was your favorite universe that we visited this movie?
Ooh, man, that's a tough one. I really like Gwen's world. The colors,
it was different.
And all that, like
that was different. And we got a big shout out to the animation team. I get why it take 5. I see why it took 5 years.
Yeah.
Like just thinking about the different worlds, the different scalings for each character as they have to go to a different world, to the different, like the comic style to introduce that when they do their you know, are we gonna say, I keep saying Batman is that nigga, Jazz. I'm sorry. But it's the, you know, he come through with the blam and the pows and stuff like that. So you have all these different animations. And of course, you know, we haven't even got the Hobie yet. We got to save him for last. That's definitely that was my favorite.
That's a whole different.
That was my favorite. Yeah, it has to be just the way they did him. Amazing. But I love that it was my guy like Daniel Kaluuya.
Comic rap video. Like I was Travis Scott style like vibe. I was bro, like that was all there. Like when he came to the screen and all that, like I was the only one. I was like, hey, that nigga hard. Like when he came to the screen, like that nigga tough. That nigga tough. And everybody looking at me like, bro, that nigga hard. Y'all don't even know. Y'all know it too.
I'm not even gonna lie. Like when he took his mask off, and then Miles was like, "You're even cooler with your mask off." I was looking at him. I was like, if I was in the elevator, I might slide on my number. I was like, yo, I'm telling you,
bro, was
put your number on the name tag.
And then Kaluuya, like with the voice, oh my, it was just so perfect. I thought like, bro, like this is how into the third eye world I was. I thought when we saw Donald Glover, I thought
oh my god,
because you know, like we got the live action, all that. I'm like, bro, if Miles transforms at the end and we see Shameik playing Miles, and this all is like turning into the live action, like to the third one, that's fire. But I was like, no, it ain't that. I was like, it ain't that.
I'm thinking cool. At some point we will. At some point, it will turn into a live action. I don't know.
From these movies, you think?
Say it again.
Like from these movies, like
yes, I think in the end he's gonna get pushed into a reality universe, and that's what tough. You know. That's what it's gonna be. I feel like Shameik could probably do one of them. Like it's hard though. Shameik is almost 30. Miles is 15 right now. So it's going to be hard for him to be the one that fits that mold. I feel like years ago it could have been Shamik, like when he was in Dope. Like if they did it
Yeah.
then,
Yeah.
it definitely could have been him. But now he's a
I
little older.
I didn't think about it like that.
And they got, and I know you dropped in our text thread, you dropped a picture of Caleb. Caleb from Stranger Things, which since I mentioned that. He has the voice. He has the voice.
Yep.
I don't know if he has the look. Now, for me, if I had to pick of the young black crew of people, the kid from Blackish, Miles. His name is Miles as well.
Oh yeah.
He looks.
I haven't watched that yet. I gotta get on it.
And I believe he's Dominican, if I'm not mistaken. So he has that texture that you're looking for. He has the voice. I've never seen him in an action movie. That's going to be the only thing where you gotta, the only pause I would have today is, can he do action? Because it's a lot of I mean, Tom Holland, you can pick who your favorite Spider-Man is. It is what
it's Miles.
I mean, well, I'm referring to the actor, not the, not the, so yeah, like Miles is amazing though. I've enjoyed watching Miles from the first movie to when they put him into the video game, his own video game. I love that. So yeah, no, I've been enjoying the Miles train.
I got a question. As you guys were like watching the film, okay, so you know how Into the Spider-Verse was shot, and we kind of get like that. It's more of a gritty animation, right? You feel like we were like moving as the movie was going on. We were moving into a different sequence of animation. Like we kind of get like,
do you mean like when we had like the 3D type of graphics?
Like we were kind of getting
that a lot in this movie.
Yeah, we were kind of getting more like flushed away vibes.
Right.
Like then rather than Into the Spider-Verse or Puss in Boots, like it was getting away from the cartoons a little bit to where it was like it looked kind of like real animation, like
when Miguel, when 2099 Spider-Man was chasing Miles, I felt like they put Oscar's face in the screen. I felt like that was his actual face that came off. I'm like, damn, hold on, it's like but it definitely looked like, it almost looked like the old Mortal Kombat. How they made that video game. It's like they take pictures of a real person and just fighting on the screen. It almost felt like that, but like done today. Like it's like that real live action look of it. So yeah, I appreciate it though.
And like how the movie was moving, and like I was like, man, this is just like the movie's definitely elevating like camera dialogue all the way until it gets to the end. I was like, oh yeah, they definitely got to have the other one done. And I know like we're getting it next spring. No, they do that. We're getting the next spring. It's got to be done. A few touch ups and stuff. But
yeah,
I can't wait for what's to come.
So it's supposed to drop next year?
Yeah, they say next spring.
Okay, perfect. Because in my mind, when I left the theater, I was just like, I'm not gonna see this until 2025.
Man, I wish the hell they would. I wish the hell they would. I don't know. I don't know why. Well, I understand this one because you had so much that's happened since the last movie. You got the animation. You got to make sure the movie hits when it gets to the theaters. You have COVID happen. So many different things happen. So I'm not even mad at when we got this. I know the next one, hopefully, like I said, it comes back. Another Spider person we get, Jazz, is your girl. Issa Rae in the building.
Oh my God.
Spider-Woman. How you feeling about seeing Issa Rae, Jazz?
I was excited for her character, and she was in this a lot more than I thought she would be, which had me even more excited. She's in my top 5 favorite Spideys from this. And it was a lot in here, but Issa made the top 5,
At least 200, allegedly.
I think she's going to play a huge role in the next one.
Absolutely.
Because she definitely rocks with Gwen. And okay, so this is a question, like, you think that's 2099's baby with her?
No. It better not be. No. No.
It better not be, because I was like, there was some weird dialogue to where like you would kind of think that, and how they were like talking and stuff, like, but we never see how they become what they are, like that whole team. So you kind of got a lot of open thoughts and stuff.
It's a lot of people though. So it was so many different people, so many different things, so many different characters to bring into the story. So, one thing Jazz always said, you got to make the best story for what you have. And they couldn't explain everything. So we just getting backstory to a person from the last movie we seen the entire movie. Right. So if we're just getting it for Gwen, Spider-Woman can wait. Allegedly there's a movie for Spider-Woman. So we'll wait when that comes out. we'll get that backstory, whether that's Miguel baby, Mario baby, or
Stop. Not no
what?
Mario. You gotta relax.
My dad named Mario. It can
He's
be a
still hot,
Mario
dude. They
baby.
bring the game back.
Look,
Yeah, like it can be Lawrence baby. You never know who baby is gonna be. So so we get, but why she out here spiting the world and pregnant? Like why she ain't at the house? How can she?
Right.
she can still work. She's still moving and grooving. I mean, she
She a
got
desk
one good
job.
hit, the Vulture with her motorcycle.
She need a desk job.
Look, she still, don't tell that woman what she need. She's still working.
I agree.
But
I
I
think,
do got.
go ahead, Jess.
I'm sorry to cut you off. I do got a question for y'all. So at the end of this scene where Gwen's father pulls a gun on her, then she unmasks. And so you see what he does after that. Do y'all think Miguel was cool with Gwen rolling with them due to that entire scene? Because they knew Gwen would have needed to know a certain type of level of information related to Miles later on. Do y'all think they just recruited her because that she knew like what the relationship with her and her father at now, when it's time for him to go, she'll accept it?
I personally believe him just being there and witnessing and seeing how knowing how, well, more than likely they know how they feel. They the only people that know how they feel. They know what these situations are. So I feel like it was a thing of him knowing what she felt like, and that's the reason. But her doing the right thing, I don't feel like he knew she was going to do the right thing, because she didn't. But I don't think he knew that. I think it was a more of a, I have to try to trust that she, when the time comes, the right outcome is going to come from this. It almost felt like a parallel Infinity War. Miguel was Doctor Strange, and she's Tony to this situation. For me, she's Tony in this. So I feel like Gwen's going to die in the next movie. I'm telling you that now. It's inevitable. It has to happen.
Yeah, someone's got to go.
She has to die. I don't
think it's going to be his dad.
The dad has to die too. That's inevitable too.
But that means he would have 3 losses: his uncle, his dad, and Gwen. Is that in their Spideyverse?
It is.
To have 3?
Not necessarily to have 3 deaths, but Gwen getting close to Spider-Man, it always ends in it ends terrible. It is. I mean, that's the story. She told you that. Like that's just what the story is, and we're so caught up in him protecting and trying to save his dad. Like that is still a thing that she's trying to avoid, because she knows that. I mean, she knows I think she knows the end in that. But I mean, it could be a flip though, because we see what happened with her father, the end of her story. We thought we knew, how it was going to go, but that definitely changed.
Man, it's just, I don't know. Like I thought 2099 was trying to get in with Gwen too, but I guess all these dudes are kids. Or like the dialogue was so weird. Like, like I don't even know. Like I was stressing out because like a lot was going on. Gwen's story of like trusting, and then Hobie comes into the story, and like that's different dialogue and all that there and stuff. So like, Gwen's been trying to figure it out all these ways with all the different Spider-Man. So now it's coming to the resolution of her, like, who's got to go and all that. So I feel like, the dialogue and all that is moving to her giving herself up in a way. I feel like that's great. And but I don't think 2099 really trusted her at the start. But I think, when like Miles said, he's making himself more powerful to beat me. The spot and all that. I feel like the spot in 2099 resonate in a way too that we can talk about here later. So I had a lot of like different thoughts going on through the movie, to where like, I'm gonna have to watch it again to clarify really on that answer about 2099, because he was up in the air for me for sure the whole movie. Like
but we're big horror fans, so he's the red herring in this. I don't feel like he's going to be what you think he's going to be. I feel like they gave you everybody that you need to watch for it. I don't think it's going to be him. Now I do feel like he has to make those decisions though. Like that's the Illuminati. That's what the Illuminati. Some people have to be the ones that have to. They don't get that story that you want. And unfortunately, Jazz, remember I said he's like Doctor Strange. That is Doctor Strange of the what if they got stuck because he tried to save Christine, even though there was an absolute point. You can't do that. Like you knew that, and you still tried to make it something that it wasn't. So I think he's just it's a jaded moment. I feel like he's going to die as well, and he's going to make you laugh before he does because he still hasn't made that funny moment. That was something that. Like I'm telling, write these payoffs off. That him making that joke, he's going to finally make a joke because he hasn't made a joke. He's been a part of jokes, but he hasn't made one. So he's going to make that joke.
Like he has good intentions. I feel like.
Yeah, that's that exactly. I don't feel like he has, and it's just he has to be the one to make that tough call. Like who's going to be the one to say that? Like
you think he just don't want to see Miles doing that?
I don't think I think it's the whole thing of like you said, Miles is the anomaly. Miles is the one, and
he's the absolute.
And like that moment that like it I didn't cry. I promise I didn't cry, but I got choked up when he was talking to his mom at the end of the movie. He was like, I did it, Mom. I beat them all. And he was just like, he said it with his chest, like, nigga, I'm that nigga.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm that one. Like they knew that. And Miguel knows that. Like at the end of the day, that's why he didn't want Gwen. He didn't want, like, Gwen would have been a perfect fit for their group. But Gwen's love for Miles, which he knows is a risk to the Spider-Verse. It's not even the multiverse, it's just the Spider-Verse.
He said bye, Gwen.
Say it again.
He said bye, Gwen. That scene was tough.
Oh yeah, you got it. I mean, he had to, because she kept playing him. Like she kept doing stuff, which how did y'all feel about that? How did y'all feel about, Gwen popping up in town? Like she's seeing you, but she got clear alternative motives.
But she still went to go see him first. So he was her priority, but then she was like, well, while we out, I can go ahead and drop this off here. So it's like kill two birds, one stone.
She didn't even have to go see him, if that was the fact.
She had to go see him.
It's a setup. It's all a setup.
So like when she put that tracking beacon or that camera on the wall, I'm not gonna lie, I was just like, damn, like she done flipped. Because when he was like, where'd you go? She was just like, oh, I was right here. I said, no, Gwen, not you. I was like, nah, you can't be betraying us. Like, I felt betrayed by Gwen. Like when she did that, I was just like, what is happening? Because I'm like, y'all can just easily go snatch him up. Like Miles can be your backup. But
yeah, that was tough. Like that was the point of the movie where I was like, I had a lot going on. Like, it was just like, because as you're watching that movie, you're in the seat of your Miles, So as the movie's going on, that's how I'm thinking, like, damn, what's Gwen got going on? Like 2099, what's he doing? Like all that. So like I'm thinking of all these scenarios too, and it's it's a lot to handle. And like you said, Jason, like it's just like, hey, like Deuce Gwen, I gotta do what's best for me. You know what I mean? I'll see all y'all later. So because I ain't rocking with, I mean, everybody wants me to do what they want me to do, but I gotta do me what's best for me. So he did that, and that's why I was just everywhere within the movie. Definitely, I was across the Spider-Verse because I was sitting with Miles, so I had a lot going on with the trust issues within all the characters and what was going on, across the Spider-Verse. So yeah.
So like one of my favorite movies of recent was Creed 2, because you have
that's the best one.
You have it is. Thank you.
Best one,
because that movie gives you the hero, it gives you the villain, and it gives you the stake. It gives you the stakes for both of these people. So in this movie, we have the beginning of Spot, and we have Miles who's still coming into himself. How did y'all feel about this first battle between Spot and Miles?
Oh my God, it was great. Go ahead, Jess. Go ahead, you kick it off.
So this episode gonna be choosing violence and a lot of legends will be said. So I'm gonna go ahead and start here. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like on my second rewatch, I enjoy his character.
Spot.
I enjoy Spot a lot.
Now he was dope. Yeah. He was dope. I like his. I want to know more about just him.
I do. So I'm not even gonna lie to you. I feel like he might be in my top 10 favorite MCU villains.
Okay.
Is
Okay,
that
I
a
like that.
ledge? Because
like
like
that.
I
It's a
enjoy
ledge
him.
because it's not even MCU just yet. And I'm gonna tell you, so if you want to go to yes or no, we can do it.
We're not
But it
doing
ain't
this.
MCU. It ain't MCU just yet. So that's a ledge anyway. Just making that comment.
Whatever. Make it all you want to. I mean, Doctor Strange was mentioned in this.
But the Earth
So
1990 99
whatever, Jason, you know what I'm
it's
trying to say.
626. We in 626. We watching 626. Remember that.
Anyway. Anyway, you done made me lose my damn train of thought. Like
You loving Spot. You loving the spots.
okay, yes. I enjoy Spy because when he was just like, please just take this easy on me. This is my first robbery. Like that entire exchange in that convenience store. Like, and he was hitting him with a bat. I was just still trying to get this ATM. And somebody outside is like, what? Who put the ATM in the ground?
In the street. Who got the ATM in the street?
Right. And then Miles is getting him a beef patty, heating it up. He ain't put no napkin under it. I'm like, come on, Miles. Just in the microwave. I know.
Spider hand. He got spider hand. He don't need
Yankee.
that.
Yankee.
No germs. But
Oh.
Miles
Okay.
was like laughing at him, and which is disrespectful. Like Miles was disrespecting this man the entire movie. So it's just like that's y'all got to be careful who y'all hate on because they're using that as fuel.
Man.
On God, because he took that villain of the week and ran. He was turning up after that. He said, "Hey, when they was doing that fight scene, when they went and got the chai tea, when they got the chai tea guy, bro.
Whoa. That's TT. You don't say that.
Right.
Oh yeah, like saying coffee, or cream.
I love that exchange. I
was fired.
It.
Which, but he said it was. Why do y'all call it ATM machine? It's just the the ATM is machine. You don't have to say it.
Why was I sitting there like, shit, he right? Because I'd be like, I'm going to the ATM machine.
No, but as a spot, like you said, Jess, like Miles was definitely disrespecting him the whole movie. And, you know, Spider-Man means a lot to him, you know, so it was tough as he was getting him, you know, figuring out himself, you know, and all that. And when they went to that fight scene and all that, and they was just fighting, he's like, oh yeah, I'm in the zone. He was like, I'm getting into myself. I was like, hey, this dude tough. Like, you know, this dude, he's it. You know, the comics and, you know, his powers and all that. I would love to see his own thing too. And, you know, what he brings to Earth 42. Cause I feel like that this next movie, he's going to be a big factor.
But he technically he's not on 40. He's not on 42. He's in six, wherever Miles 16.
Well, like he was there and he technically died and became the Spot, right?
No, he was well, you know what? Actually, yeah. I feel like he started at 42.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know. I don't think so.
He
didn't start at 42. The spider just came.
Yeah. They got the
spider
from
42.
That sounds right.
The spider from 42. So how did y'all enjoy this the payoff of one, the spider being the one that bit Miles, that y'all enjoy how that became a bigger part. Even that was such a small part in the previous movie. Like when he got bit, it wasn't every time Peter gets bit, it's a big thing. When he got bit, it was just like a mosquito bite. Yeah. He just slapped it away. But also where the villain came from. Like did y'all enjoy those two parts of it?
Yeah, because you know, as you know, just like that small scene of Miles slapping off the spider and all that, and how he's disrespecting the Spot and all that, kind of resonates all back to how, like, you know, how Miles takes the whole situation and definitely him becoming himself, because he's like, you know, I'm Spider-Man, can't nothing stop me. Even back to where he's like, man, I ain't grounded 2 months, I'm Spider-Man. It's just all the small stuff like that, you know, and you know, just believing that nothing can stop him. So, you know, I love how he took the bite and just ran with it. You know, nothing can. He's definitely living up to the name and being Spider-Man. You know, nothing can stop him in it. You know, he's Miles Morales. So it's definitely I like how, you know, that scene with him and Gwen were talking too, and she goes, you know, in every other universe she you know, she falls for the Spider-Man, but, you know, ain't no one Miles, you know, ain't no one Miles. There's only one Miles. So I feel like he's just a different Spider-Man. He's just different.
Went over there trying to kick game. I peep what she doing. Mm-hmm. But not like the origin story of his villain or his villain
Spot.
origin story,
Mhm.
I thought was hilarious because when I was looking at it, I was like, I don't remember his character. And then when he was like, and you hit me in the face with a bagel, and I was like, oh, I do remember that scene. And Miles is like, I don't remember who you are at all, which is another like dig at him because he's just like walking around like I'm your nemesis. And Miles like, I don't even know your name. Like he pulled a Thanos to Wanda. I don't even know who you are, which is
Man.
crazy. Like, and hey, the Spot just taking all that in. So I appreciate the origin story, and when I do my rewatch again for inside the first movie, I'm gonna look at that scene. So I'm like,
A
let me
lot
see
of
if I can scope him out.
they they retcon a couple of the scenes, like when Peter passes away in Gwen's arms, it's a little different from how it's shown in the new movie. When Gwen pops up at the end of the movie, when she goes back to visit Miles, which is how she comes in here, that they changed that. I mean, so things are
You're talking about
very,
when Miles puts the headphones on?
yes, in the bed at the end.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
how
yeah,
it
yeah.
ends, him in the bed. So it shows her when she comes back. So it
Scene was
shows how when she
tough.
comes back. So they kind of change. They kind of change it a little bit. But
That
this is
scene was
like one
tough.
of the first team ups with Miles and his dad when they trying to take on Spot, which was a callback to the first movie when Miles is about to make his first leap off the building. He was like, hell no. He walked back down the steps and take the smaller
Oh, yeah.
building. The dad goes up and he's not going to jump into this spot. He was like, nah, let me,
Nah.
nah.
Did y'all theater laugh at that scene?
Yes.
It was like people
Yes.
laughing at that scene. It's because when I saw it, I was just like, I know his dad.
Oh
ain't
yeah,
about to jump
everyone
in
was
there.
laughing. Everyone was laughing where I was at
Yeah.
St. Louis and down here. So yeah, it was definitely a great scene for sure. That
I
was
was
hilarious.
scared. I was scared for his dad in this scene though, because I was just
Yeah.
like, you doing a little too much, Chief.
Like what was he going to do within, like what was he really expecting to do
Well,
within
the whole scene was just tough because like they just come out of that meeting, like the movie just kicks off super fast. They're coming out of that meeting, and I like how the movie goes like resonates on the phone, like technology and all that, and we can all resonate to that, being on our phones, texting and all that stuff, and like he's just really trying to figure out what his son got going on, so, and he feel like, Spider-Man is so much like him, it's just like, it's just a matter of like, you ever know something about somebody and you kind of like hinting at them to get to tell you and they don't want to. That's all it is, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
he just on his ass about it. And Miles like, get off the kid's ass, like, kind of like all that whole scene just comes together well. And I definitely got it. I got what they were getting at there. So
Yeah.
just a matter of understanding what someone's got going on.
And it was definitely a scene right here where they were talking. He was just like, as an objective observer with no skin in the game. And he was, and like my theater of my rewatch, everybody was laughing at that scene. It was just like, because that scene was like funny. Did y'all catch the Spider-Man video game reference in this beginning scene? So like when Miles went into his room, his roommate was playing the Spider-Man game. And like while Miles is getting dressed. So like, it's when I went on my first showing, the guy sitting beside me, he was like, they got his roommate playing a Spider-Man game while Miles is getting dressed. Cause you just look at the TV. Cause like you see him playing, like he's playing Dr. Octavius, he's fighting them in the game. And I was just like, oh, that's dope.
That's cool. I'm gonna have to go. I'm watching the IMAX Saturday night. So I'm definitely have to check that out.
I mean, I missed that scene. But Genki, he hasn't really played a big scene just yet in this, outside of falling out, passing out, or just going along with whatever Miles got going. But in the video game, he is a big part of it.
That's what's up. Yeah, Genki. That scene was funny. He said, "Who you hanging out with, boy? Genki?" He said, "Remind me of my dad so much, dude. That's how my dad is."
He said he don't like him because Genki don't he calls by his first name. He don't appreciate that, which that generate. But that's the younger generation. But a lot of people don't like to be looked at as old, so they don't put the Mr. Don't say hot ma'am, sir.
Right.
All that stuff is going away, even though that's what I feel like. Well, my generation was raised on, like the sir, yes sir. But like the younger, everybody's like, nah, just call me by my first name. You don't have to be so formal. And they not necessarily defeat Spot, but Spot disappears. But we see Spot now has a new power. He can travel in the
His own boat.
multiverse without he can just do it with it. That's one of his powers. He can travel throughout the multiverse. So he goes into this old timey verse. He gets slapped by an old woman. Well, by a woman. Let me not say old. I don't know what her age
She was
was.
old.
She gets slapped up by this woman. He goes into the Lego universe, which was hilarious. Because we only two, we got Lego Batman, now we got Lego
I
Spider-Man.
knew he's down there.
We got the Lego Spider-Man, it was hilarious just seeing them in that Lego world. And going, how did y'all feel about seeing Lego Spider-Man?
I thought it was cool. It was definitely appreciation of the world. I'm glad we didn't get too much because I want to see like how they do it later and how it all comes together. But I appreciated it. It wasn't too much.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. And it was different because you're giving different aspects of different visuals and just they utilize it a lot. And then you see Lego Spider-Man contact Miguel because they see the Spot come through that universe. But do y'all remember the scene where Spot goes into a universe and he's talking to a woman in a convenience store?
Yeah.
Was that scene in Venom?
It is. That's Venom. The 688 universe. Yeah, that was Venom. But he picks that gum up and it says it's Venom mint. So yeah, that was just
I thought I saw that too. And everyone, I'm glad you said that. I gotta go back and watch the Venoms, but I thought I was like, man, everyone seems to notice this lady. Like I was just high. So I was like, I didn't know where she was from, but I definitely know where she was from now. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, she was the one that Venom had an agreement with, is he fights the people. She can shop in there for free. So I think she gives Venom something to eat. But like he ate somebody's head in that store. So yeah, she with him. They a team. Out in San Francisco. But then we have this
again for tomorrow. I mean, fire.
And we got basically what we've been, two things. We got the I know we mentioned, we kind of scaled over it, was Miles at school. Miles has been he's been doing some hero work, so I guess he's been missing class a little bit to go out and fight crime. So he's doing fairly well in school, all A's. He got 1B in Spanish, which the mom was not happy about that. How did y'all feel about this scene with Miles and his family at school?
I appreciated that we got to see more of Miles and his mom in this movie, of their closeness and their relationship. I mean, we got a lot of it with him and his father in the last movie, but just to see him and his mom, like I definitely appreciated that. But I mean, he's intelligent. It's weird that like he's trying to go to a school to where he can learn how to travel the multiverse. He just got to call up Hank. Oh, Hank ain't in this universe, is he? Nah,
not yet, at least.
That was a joke. Hank goes through the multiverse.
Yeah, I mean, but within this is, I mean, I don't know. I mean, as far as when it comes to it, he's the only person out there that's saving people so far. So they haven't, within Sony's universe, they haven't had the conversation. Well, they can't have the conversation of MCU things just yet. So that's why it's not a thing of him going to meet these other people or have conversations about different stuff, or even trying to figure out what the multiverse is. But when I went on my rewatch, I did notice when he was in class, that was the conversation that Liz Octavia was talking about when they were listening to her speech in there. So, but of course we had the first movie, so all that was multiverse, so a lot of more multiverse. So when he misses everything from the multiverse, of course he's trying to get back to it, more so Gwen than the rest of it. But yeah,
sprung. That's crazy.
Man, this was one of the more like, besides the school, like this is one of the more tougher scenes for me because I felt like, this is where I really resonate with Miles. Sometimes you got so much shit going on that you kind of pan everybody out, and sometimes like your parents and stuff. So you really don't you know, you got the right things going, but like, you know, you can do some things better. Not that you're doing wrong, but you know, it's just the small things of like, you know, it goes back to like, you know, my dad, like some of the stuff we put off that our parents say, but when you grow older and look back at it, you're like, damn, they were right, you know? It's
Right.
just like stuff like that. So I really resonated with this conversation. And even, you know, to the efforts of Miles trying to get the cake to his mom and stuff, and him and his mom having that alone conversation, and him just and his mom just telling him like, you know, your angels and stuff, and all this small stuff, you know, it's all these sacrifices for you to be like who you are, you know, even though she don't know he's a Spider-Man, you know, you got to do the small things, you know, within yourself and family that make you a great person. So, you know, I feel like as people, we you know, we kind of cut off people in time for certain things that, you know, feel like we need within ourselves sometimes. And self-love is the best love, but you know, you got to put things outside yourself sometime. And I felt like this conversation with Miles and his parents and the counselor definitely resonated, that it wasn't saying that Miles was a bad person, but he just got a lot more growing to do outside of the Spider-Man suit.
Right. Absolutely. Because it's just, you know, you got your future.
Yes.
So it's just his parents, and they know that he's closing off to them. And of course, parents go in and like, what's going on? But like everything you just said, completely agree with it. And it makes sense.
Yeah.
Especially when you brought up the conversation when he was talking to his mom and she let him know all of those things when they were at the party. And
Mm-hmm.
I knew that I was made sure I listened to everything that she said, because I was like, this is gonna come back up.
Almost cried.
Like it was so impactful, and I was just like, wow. And then I love like with the details of the visuals of their facial expressions, like
Yes.
it got down to the details of when they were at the party, they screaming. And then I thought it was funny because when they first started, and then everybody looking at the parents, the DJ turned was
DJ
like,
tried to
let me
turn it
turn
up.
the music up a little bit. And then they were just like still arguing. They got louder, and the DJ like, y'all, I tried.
It's just, you know, through
But
this whole movie with it, you know, being a lot to handle, you know, when Miles' mom comes to the screen, you kind of get that home feeling when she comes to the screen, and you kind of just feel like, you know, all you can do is sit here and listen and, you know, express yourself. So you kind of get, I was emotional a lot when she was coming to the screen, because it kind of brought Miles back to reality and what was really going on within himself, you know. So that was, I love that she had a lot more screen time, and it was definitely, she had a powerful role. Powerful
Yeah,
role.
she was mad funny when like, you know, after Miles and them came back. Where did they change clothes at? Like Miles, like Gwen had a whole outfit on. Like it was short, like it was shorts though. Like how did she? Miles typically have on the that big ass coat trying to hide his uniform, but like
I was gonna ask y'all. Y'all saw what everybody else was wearing, right? Short sleeve shirts. It looked like it was summer. Miles walk around in a North Face bubble coat. I'm like, you're not sweating.
so is it
Right, he
summer?
dripped
So is it
out.
summer or is it wintertime? Like I'm trying to. New York kind of confusing, ain't it, Jazz?
No, it's
Man,
not.
man, it's not. I mean, I don't know. Miles, he dressing a little bit different from how everybody else dressing. Like,
He got to hide the suit though, so I understand.
No, you're wait. So you hide your suit with a big bubble coat on?
Nah, it's too damn hot for all that shit.
It's not.
and so that was I was just wondering what the hell they was switching these clothes out like when they was doing it, but obviously it was in the room because she left part of her clothes in there.
Yo, she
So
messy. Gwen is messy. She's like, just in
Yeah, she
case
got to
it
clean
didn't.
it up a little bit.
and the mama definitely felt like one of my like she was like I bet she don't even speak Spanish like like when they was looking the dad was just like I ain't got no say in that dog I ain't got no say in that.
I
Yeah,
thought it
she
was
did not know
funny.
about Gwen.
It was funny when Gwen met them. She said both of their first names, and then both parents reacted. It's like, first name. All right, here we go.
This
And
what
then
we doing.
I'm like, Miles, tell your ladies do not call my parents by their first name.
That's a man. So that's just really a generational thing. And you kind of go, like you said, you go into the conversation. Y'all spoke about the conversation between Miles and his mom, and that I feel like that was his motivation for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Just that conversation, because everything she said was everything he had to face. Like literally
Yes.
had to go as soon as they finished. She worried that They're not gonna look out for him like she does, like his family does. They're not gonna root for him, like the family was. Never doubt that you love, because that's something I felt like he always. I feel like he only thought that Aaron was the one that loved him, which brought back to my first in the beginning piece. Like I don't think, like I said, I think he knew they loved him, but it was just, it's that, it's just that uncertainty, because you're a kid and your parents are just, it seems like they're always on your ass, on your
Right.
case, but it's just like you're becoming a young adult. So now the things you do, decisions you make, they affect only you. It won't have anything to do with me.
Right.
So it's just, I want to make sure, we're guiding you the best we can to get, to this best, to the next place.
You're exactly right though. Did y'all see that's what Dr. Umar said about the movie?
No, I haven't seen anything with him. I
He
know
was
he ain't
tripping.
I know he ain't happy with the
He said, I
Miles
can't
with
believe people going to see this Spider-Man snugged up on a snow bunny. I was rolling. I was like,
I
this
mean, man,
man
it
gone.
was, that's how it was in the
But
previous
look,
movie.
talking on that though, why I feel like Spider-Man loved old girl with the Avatar.
Love her. I don't know if he loved her, but I
But he
I
like
seen
he
I
vibe,
seen
he
I
vibe
seen I
with her.
seen
He
the
vibe with her.
vibe.
Yeah.
And that's your girl. Well, I don't know if that's somebody leaking throwing or not, which it don't seem like it clearly is not. But that's the girl from Bodies, Bodies, Bodies.
Oh, I ain't watched that yet.
Which one?
The lead.
Oh, okay. Oh, well, that's a lot of folks in this movie for Link of Thrones.
Yeah.
So it's
It's
a lot of.
I mean, it's a lot of them, and some of them you can't even find in the thing. Their names just pop up.
I like how we didn't get too much of her though, because I feel like I feel like Miles was vibing with her though, and I feel like there's gonna be a twist and a turn. Like
When Gwen die, she'll take it up.
I think Gwen felt like they was vibing too, which is why she was like, "You need to come on." She shot him with some web, like
yeah.
So let me ask y'all this:
Shot him with some
Did,
web.
so didn't her character seem like?
Tough.
Didn't she seem overly thick?
I mean, it was that's the
seem,
avatar she chose.
But I was like,
the avatar she chose for us.
I was like, damn. I was like, okay, sis. Like,
yeah, she was that. Yeah, I'm like, damn. Yeah, she was looking good. She was looking good.
I was like, why is her avatar so thick? I was like,
bro, it's just, it's crazy. Like, I think this like is, yeah, like I think it's gonna come to a live action like within the Spider-Verse. It's crazy. It is crazy to think that, but and man, it's like this movie is like it's gonna change like how movies are done for a long time.
Yeah, with them intertwining the live action things within it. I mean, because you had so like I said again, they don't really touch on the MCU, because like Tom Holland, I don't know what the agreement was, but of course you see Andrew Garfield at some point.
Yeah,
you see Tom,
like
you see
seconds.
Yeah, you see what's the first one?
Toby
Maguire. I'm sorry.
Did we see him?
You do see Toby Maguire. He's with Uncle Pete. You see that. You see Peter from the PS4 video game in one of the dreams as well when Uncle Ben passes. So yeah, it happens. Like I mean,
when they're explaining the Spider-Verse, I like how that was done too. Like we really understand like what's going on.
Yeah, we get a lot of explainers within here, which like I said, it's funny when you start watching these movies, because Marvel is just so huge. It's so big. MCU is doing their own multiversal thing. Spider-Man is doing its own multiversal thing. And the crazy thing is like, while all these things are happening, like they can simultaneously happen because of everything. And it's just like the Spider-Man can affect just the Spider-Man world. It wouldn't have anything to do with the multiversal world if they get to messing with stuff or get to changing things. So that's that's weird. And we had that scene when Miles actually figures out, because his mom gives him the go ahead, even though he's grounded, to follow Gwen to go see what's going on. He figures out, she was really there for ulterior motive. It wasn't for him, it was for other things. And I thought they were finally gonna kiss, because they haven't kissed yet. and it looked like the Spider-Man one in the rain. He's upside down this time. Well, Pete was upside down.
When he was invisible.
Yeah, when he was invisible.
Yeah.
He was invisible, and she walking on the ground before they jumped inside jumped in that portal.
So how did y'all feel like when Gwen came into this, I guess, building to see what the spot did? Like that device she had where it was like replay and just
Replay of what
seeing that
happened.
whole thing. Like, how did y'all, because the visuals, and I'm gonna keep giving the visuals their flowers because amazing of how, depending on the mood, what was going on, the backgrounds change and like the color schemes. I thought that was really cool. But like, how did y'all feel about Gwen is here seeing the replay of everything happen with the spot, and then would her spidey senses have went off even though Miles was invisible? Shouldn't her spidey senses, or is that?
That's a good question. That's a good question. That's why, like, I was so amazed by the scene because, like, you know, we really in this movie we really see how important Miles is as being Spider-Man, you know, and what Spider-Man he is. So, like, we it jumps right into the movie. Like, we didn't get what was going on from 2018 to now. So, like, we just see that he's grown up and been doing his own Spidey shit. So we like you just see like he couldn't just get invisible. It was fight or flight in the last movie, but now he can just do that stuff. Oh, let me hit the cut real quick and all that. So it was a different, you know, it was a different, you know, different scene to where like we don't know what really Miles has been working on to become within his true Spider-Man self, to where like he might have that power to be invisible and not, you know, alert other Spider-Mans and their spider senses, you know. So that's a good question. I really don't know. That was a up in the air, and I loved how that scene like stayed like that. And you know, we really didn't know if Gwen knew or not. You know, so
I think Gwen, she didn't, but I think it's some. I believe it's more of a. It's because he's doing like a stealth thing. Like whenever the Spidey sense happens, it's typically because something happened. It's never because someone walked into the room. So like they can still get startled. You can still get
right,
them.
yeah,
Like, but it's a like because think about when Aunt May was throwing stuff at Peter. She was just throwing stuff like, does it work like
Right.
did the tinker work like then? He was like, no, it doesn't work like that. So it's just different things. So there's no rhyme or reason as to what happens like when it does. So I mean, so it's just interesting in seeing it. So
yeah,
like I
for
said,
sure.
there isn't. So like when Doctor Strange put him in that little strange world in his head, and you see the waves, they're always working. So like it's like no matter what he did, like he like, why can't I reach? Why can't I get that? He's like, oh shoot, I guess my tingle just it does whatever it wants. Like it's not a thing that he can control. It just happens. But I mean, like him, they're looking at the Matrix. He's the one. So it's just different for him
Yeah,
and what he's doing because nobody else can do go invisible. Venom strike, which is him doing his
Hobie
electrocution.
might be able to. Hobie might be able to.
Possibly,
We don't know
Hobie
that.
might. Hobie might.
We
But
didn't get a
we
lot of
going.
Hobie, and I respected that. We didn't get a lot of Hobie to where dude, we got enough. I was like, oh yeah, I'm rocking with that.
Yeah, he need the. Well, no. He's doing Afro Punk. Never mind. I was gonna say I think Donald is doing another Spider-Man movie, but it's Afro Punk. It's not him. But
But I definitely get what you were saying on that part. Like, yeah, I understand, but I love how like we see how much Miles has really been doing because we don't get the whole we don't get the 5 year ago gap, you know.
yeah,
So
I think it
I,
was. I mean, 5 years for us, but it's only been a year and 14 months for him.
right. Oh
Uh,
yeah, yeah, I forget that too. Yeah.
with it, it's only
So
14. I mean, it would have been. I mean, would y'all have been okay with a 5 year time jump? I mean, not 5 year time jump, but a 5 year gap with that happening.
Where we would have saw Miles at 19
20.
instead of,
Yeah,
I would
19
I'd
at
have been all right
19.
with that. In like college, that'd have been cool. It'd have been a
yeah,
different story.
but
It
I
was too
also,
fast.
if that's the case, then I think they would have adjusted the relationship between him and his parents
Oh
because
yeah,
he
for sure.
wouldn't be, I don't think they would have
For kid, he wouldn't
focused
be
on
a kid.
that much if he was about 19 or 20 because they would expect, oh, he's just in college, he's doing whatever, drinking, all of that. But with him being younger, they still feel like they have that parental, I'm gonna tell you what you need to do type of attitude towards him. So
But like we never like I feel like besides the first meeting and the first meeting with him and his parents and the counselor in the movie, we really don't get that school setting, you know. Besides him hopping in and out of his room and stuff like that, like we really don't
Oh
just
yeah.
get Miles at school, you know, because Gwen's not there and stuff like his mind's on Gwen and his mind's on being Spider-Man and stuff. So we don't really get that plot of Miles being a student in this movie. So
which was fine because, like I said, within it, I mean, a lot of people don't like the human side of heroes. Like they want them to just go out be fighting the entire time. Like
Right,
just
right, right.
give up their life. Like where you gonna live it? Like because you gave up your life. Like that like life doesn't like there's and I enjoy the human side of the heroes because what keeps this person grounded? What keeps them? What are you really fighting for at the like when it comes to it? Like why does this mean so much to you within that? But of course, like I said, we know what it is for Miles. You know, he jumps in, and we go to Earth 50101. I think it. How do I Mubatin? The Indian.
Yeah, the Indian dude.
The India Spider-Man, not Spider-Man, but Spider-Verse, Indian Spider-Verse. How y'all feeling about this universe?
I thought this was cool. I enjoyed this scene a lot. He might be in my top 5 favorite Spideys as well, because the fact that he was just like, I don't work out because I already have an amazing body and I don't want to get too buff. I don't have to do anything with my hair. And he was like, no moisturizer. He was just like coconut oil and genetics. And I was just sitting here like, wow. Like, I feel like a person of color definitely wrote this script, because I was like, coconut oil? I was like, okay, what y'all know about that? But nah, I really enjoyed this scene. Like he was funny. And so him seeing when we realized like Miles is with them and he's just like, there seems like a lot of tension between y'all. He must love you. And just like their exchange, and it's just it was funny. I definitely appreciated this scene.
I did too. It was a great scene. All the color. This was one of my more. This is probably my second favorite Spider-Verse color wise outside of Gwen's. I feel like we really got the cool, enhancement of the different colors of the the greens and the oranges and the yellows and that light red blending, and the whole fight scene too within the spot, and what he brings in, just that black and white palette to that format, and what he was bringing. I feel like he was, like I said, he was really into his form and all that, and his comedic guide every time he hit the screen, like you were just ready for it every time he came to the screen, and I was just there for it, like from the Spider-Man becoming and then we get Hobie right after that. So that whole transition of the movie, that next 20 to 30 minutes was just perfect timing. I was just like, oh yeah, like this is what's up. That's what's up.
And I think like this one, like you say, this is Gwen. She's trying to fight Spot, and she gets thrown off her game because Miles pops up. And I feel like this was like an homage also to the Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Gwen, her death scene, because Gwen, because of this, she falls out the sky.
Oh.
I was getting that too.
But Miles catches her. Miles catches her, and then she's like, why did you follow me here? And they're fighting. They, and you said, like y'all said, the Spider-Man here, he's just throwing out jokes. Like he's just like, oh my God, the romantic tension between y'all. Like, how can y'all concentrate while we doing this? Like, this is crazy. And they're just still talking, just keep on talking as he said. So do you know about Hobie yet? Hobie, like who is Hobie?
Who that?
What did before we got introduced, or like what did y'all think what this was about to be?
I mean, we find out later that Gwen got shoes, toothbrush at Hobie house. So I'm sitting here like they done went on a few missions together. I was like, yo, Gwen ain't as innocent as, well, she don't seem innocent anyway. But I mean, Gwen out here working and living. She can't wait for Miles. She didn't think she was gonna see him again. So I thought it was something romantic in the air, but then I was like, he probably just looked at her like a sister.
Who? Hobie?
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Same
we'll
with
see.
like,
I don't know.
That's what I don't know about 2099 either. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm in the spot of Miles in this movie. So like I've been in all these scenarios of like the girls saying this and that and all that. So like, some women be moving like that. They got one dude on the side, other dude on the side. So I'm like, you don't know what they got going on. So Gwen, I didn't know about in this movie, but I was rocking with it because there's a lot more to know in the next movie. So, Hobie, we don't know about him. And that's why I was like, 2099, what you got going on with my girl? Age, I know age, but age is weird, but the Spider-Verse is a Spider-Verse. So like, and I didn't know about Miguel this whole movie. So I was just up in the air. I was up in the air, If I was Miles, I'm not rocking with Gwen right now. So.
Y'all think Gwen be wait, y'all think Gwen be in them streets?
Oh,
Yes.
she definitely she
in
in
the
the most
street.
in the Spider-Verse street. She is.
Yeah.
She out there.
She out there.
Like she out there in across the Spider-Verse.
And
She across it
Indian
and
dude
beyond it.
The Indian dude knew it. He said, "Oh, he came without being invited."
He said, "Y'all in love." He said, "He in love." Like he just popped in, like, "Oh, we."
He said, "He know about," and then he said, "You know about Hobie?" Yeah, him and Hobie dapping up. No, they acted too close. That's why Miles was like, "Oh, I don't know about this dude." And then it ain't nothing after that. And I feel like in the next movie, we're really gonna get that Hobie. I feel like we're gonna get that Avengers bond within the Spider-Man. Like I feel like Hobie and Miles are really gonna connect and come down the track and stuff. I feel like it's gonna be a really cool movie, but we're gonna lose someone between Miles, Gwen, Miles' dad. Something's gonna be hard to handle in the next movie. But I love how it's coming together for sure. But Gwen being the Spider Streets. Gwen in the Spider Streets.
The stakes got to be up there. See, Spider-Man India. I guess that's what they're coning. I just want to make sure we say that properly. But they see Spot. Spot he's gone to the what was the plant? The Acme, was it not the Acme plant?
Alchemax.
Alchemex makes to the Alchemex plant. But he's a nice villain. He's taking all the scientists out the room so nobody gets harmed, nobody gets hurt. They trying to get in, they can't get through. Miles, he tried to use his venom attack to drain the place. And as he's doing, you hear that good side, and we get Hobie. Hobie pops in, rocking out guitar, he going crazy, and now we get the Hobie introduction. I think everybody's already has agreed Hobie was one of their favorites. In the movie, he just moving like a rebel without a cause. Like we know who he is. He's not concerned with all the rest of it. He got a crazy backstory. I guess he's a rock star. He almost like the Hannah Montana of Spider-Man, right?
Yeah. Travis Scott, Spider-Man.
Yeah, I like that. I
love how when we were getting to introduce to him, he was like, "I'm not revealing my identity. Like, no, I'm not doing that." So,
he said, "Oh, you thought I was gonna do that?"
I thought I'm not gonna lie, I thought that was dope. I thought that was really dope. And just when they were just like, "Oh, that's Obi right there," then Miles is like, "Oh," he's like, "Well, I got the force field or whatever that was. I weakened it for him." He was like, "Use your palm, not your tips next time." And when I heard that the first time, I was like, that's probably important. Let me make a mental note of that, because it definitely came back up later. But then
but aside of that, you get the vibe of like, Hobie ain't on no hater shit. Nah.
Because his introduction,
I respected that a lot. Yeah.
I don't remember what it said, but he was just like, "I'm not calling myself a superhero because that seems narcissistic," and something else.
Miles called him out for it though. He said, "I thought you don't like labels."
Right.
Yeah, we started going back through them, and when they get through, they attempt to try to stop Spot, but Spot, he told him, "Miles, you made me feel empty." Like I had no, he said, "Well, I'm on a journey of self-improvement, but not just for me, but for you too. Like, so you're gonna have a formidable opponent, so I can finally be your nemesis, and you can be the hero that you think you are." And then he made I feel like Hobie said either Hobie or what's it called? One of them said, "I'm a big stepper." I think that was Hobie though, and I was like, "Bro, what?
A what?
A big?"
Yeah, I think that was right. Yeah, I think that was Hobie.
Yeah, Hobie, like he was a big stepper, and he was like, "Yeah, all right." Spot was like, "Yeah, all right." So he threw them back over to the world, and he went inside the collider. And of course he improved his powers. And your girl pulled up, and she sent the spider people to the Spider Society.
I mean, a quantum hole was made, and I was sitting here, I was just like, have I heard that word or those, like, is that in any other movie? Like, of course we've heard quantum realm, but a quantum hole, I don't think we've heard of that before. So I'm curious if we're gonna see that, or excuse me, somebody's referencing that in any of the upcoming films. I thought that'd be dope. But
so are we thinking, like, I guess, are we thinking Miles like Does he really want to go to school? Or does he just want to be Spider-Man full time after high school?
I think he wants to be Spider-Man full time.
I think so too. That's the vibe I
I,
was getting at.
I don't see it. Like I think he enjoys being Spider-Man, but I also think he knows Spider-Man ain't bringing nothing home. Like he's not getting nothing because he's doing Spider-Man. Like that's a common theme between the Spider-Mans as well. Like they're always typically always broke. There are some that do have money that do well, but they're typically always broke
Tom
fighting
Holland up.
two
Shit,
or
Tom
three
Holland ain't
jobs.
broke.
Shit, you seen the last movie? He broke his hell now.
Wait.
He ain't even got no high school degree. And then got to go get a
Oh
GED.
no, you
It's
right. You
raps.
right. Yeah, you right. He ain't
Yeah,
have
we
shit.
don't need that. We don't need that for Miles. We need Miles to get out there and But I think Miles' whole thing is there is that trying to find that balance, like trying to find the balance. Like we oftentimes see this in heroes. Like I said, the biggest one, I mean, is the one I feel like the most that closely relates to him, and it's not even MCU. Is I always say Batman. That's what I always go to. I know Jazz, I know, but I feel like he's one of the only. There's only so many of them that try to
You gotta
grasp
be.
between reality and being a superhero. Like when it comes to it, so you see Miles trying to get in between two, but of course he can't balance it all. Which that's why everything kind of I gonna say goes to shit, but it goes to shit around him because he's trying to balance too many different things, and he's only 15. He don't even know himself, but he's trying to balance being a hero of the world as well as go to class and do algebra. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a lot.
And then especially not having anybody to talk about this with, because his parents don't know. He doesn't have any friends. I mean, I guess you could say his roommate, because his
Yeah, that's
roommate
all
knows
he's
that
got,
he's.
really. And Gwen.
At least Tom had Iron Man for the mind
Yeah.
the time that he had.
I mean, he also had his best friend too. Tom did. Like all
Oh
of
yeah,
them
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
had a
True.
best friend. It was just either Harry or what's Tom Holland's friend's name? I can't think of it.
Ooh,
But
It's just such. Oh, go ahead, Jess.
no, I was just gonna say like just I can't think of his best friend. But like they all had them, but Miles doesn't really have that person if you take Gwen away.
I don't
So
know. It's just such a hard question because, like, you know, the way Miles was talking, like, about what he wanted to do, you know, after school and like time travel and all that, that didn't sound like school shit. You know, I was like, okay, like this dude, like he's seen some stuff that he really can help into, and like we really don't know anything to that aspect. And like Jason said, Sony can't speak on certain things to where like we can't run with that. But like the, I just love how this movie like just leaves your mind open to a lot to go on to when we get the next one. You know.
yeah,
So
absolutely.
I don't know where the journey's gonna go with Miles. I don't know where, but it's a
I mean, because Miles, when Gwen told him what she was doing, jumping from multiverse to multiverse over here, snatching up these different villains, he was ready to go. He was down. He
right.
was ready to leave his parents and just go fight battles in different multiverses. So that's another reason why I think he's not focused on school. He's trying to be a superhero full time.
Did you guys? I got a question for you guys. Did you guys appreciate the moment Miles, when Miles finally told his mom, "Hey, I'm Spider Man"? Did you guys appreciate like that, like you should have, or like you thought like
I loved it.
I'm glad it
it
went like that, but I
it
wish you like should have been like, oh, like I wish it would have been more sentimental. But it was definitely a funny moment when it was a funny moment in the theater for sure.
it
So
was. You go ahead, Jess.
so are you saying like with that type of moment, with everything
Like
that he said,
yeah,
you
everything
would have.
building up to that moment. Yeah, like how he said it, like and how she received it. Like you thought that was the perfect way.
So I it was built up and it was in my mind, it makes me think it was genuine, it was organic. When he does it again, it won't hit the same.
She
You think it will?
is she going somebody fit to die? Yes, it's gonna hit.
I mean, if she's not sitting there dying on the ground, but if
I mean, no, he gonna tell her why she done, but it's gonna be. I feel like this because when he has to say it the next time, the stakes are gonna be crazy, or it may be a moment like when the first Peter and not Garfield, not Garfield, but Maguire, Tobey Maguire, when he did it, he wanted to tell Aunt May, but he stopped because it was like he knew he got the uncle killed. So it was a thing of him trying not to bring that out to her. And I think he eventually does it, and they have to separate for quite some time because it was a thing of you're the reason. Like this situation happened, but they figured it out. I mean, so both times. So when on my rewatch, I caught something that I didn't catch the first time. But now when I was watching it originally, I was like, this not his mama when he started talking. So I'm like, this isn't going to be an impactful. It's
Oh
not going to
yeah,
be an.
yeah. I
It's
forgot
not
about
going to
that.
be an. It's
Yeah.
not going to be an impactful moment at all, even regardless of whatever he's saying. It's going to be impactful for another reason, which it was. It leveled that entire scene was layered. Just that entire thing. So on the first watch, I'm like, oh shit, he's not in the right universe. My second watch, I'm looking at the crowd reaction, like, what the fuck they gonna do when they figure out this isn't
Right,
the right
I
moment.
feel
So
you.
I'm peeping at the people, like, oh shoot, they catching it now, they catching it now. Like people, they didn't get nobody caught that, but like when he gets scanned, it said we're sending you to Earth 42.
Yep.
It says that
Yeah, I saw it
on
the
the
second time.
screen, but you're not paying attention to that because you're not you so caught up in the movie, you're not catching it. But again, that's like I said, when he said that, when he stood up there, he was like, when he basically was saying, I'm that nigga. Like I beat all the Spider-Men. Like I'm the one. Like they can't tell me like everything you told me I used to get back to you.
She was
Within
like,
that, but
I know I'm always right.
yeah, and she was like, "What's this for like Comic-Con?" And he still don't know what Comic-Con is, which was a callback to the first movie, but also the other thing is it was a callback to when Peter in the previous movie saw Mary Jane in Miles' universe, and he had to tell her everything he felt that he couldn't tell his back in his own universe. So regardless of what, like, so yes, it wasn't impactful. So it was impactful because it's just like you hearing what they're saying. So it matters. What they're saying matter because it's what they actually mean, it's how they feel, and this is what it is. So when it happens again, I feel like it'll matter. Like
I feel like
it's gonna
that's
hit.
why I had to go watch it a second time because like that last from that like the 10 minutes before that sequence, I was just like everything was rapping so different to where I'm like that was a lot to handle to where I had to go back the second time and like it slowed back a little, it slowed down a little bit, and I was like, all right, that's a bet. You know what's going on to where like, you're just like, damn, it's a lot to handle. And then Miles comes within himself, and we're just like, yo.
But the crazy thing is when within that, like we're gonna get back to it, but like him coming within himself, he gets broke back down to a kid.
Yeah.
With this, when he sees his uncle again. So it's kind of crazy. You get to your highest point and you get pushed back down to this point, just given different circumstances, different situations.
That took me back to the moment when he had Peter tied in the bag. That's when like
That's it.
he didn't
That's
even
exactly
like,
what it was.
he was like, hey, what are you doing? Like, I got some questions. That's like he wasn't even Spider-Man yet. So like that took me back to the moment like he's got to start completely over.
Yeah, that's what it was. That's exactly what it was. And now can we one thing we do, we know about Absolute Point from the What If series. So within this, we find out what is a canon moment. Is it? That's what a canon, like a canon moment. So we have the reason that Gwen them are even a person or a team is to prevent these, or kind of like a TVA, I guess, to a certain extent. They're trying to stop these moments from happening across their Spider-Verse, and if it happens, you can lose that entire that Spider-Man, that entire universe that person was a part of. So we have within this, Miles saved someone that was supposed to die. So just given, like when I seen Gwen grab his hand, I knew at that point what I knew at that point. Did y'all catch that?
I definitely did. Not on my
when she grabbed his hand, I said, "Oh no, she was supposed to stop him. That guy was supposed to die." Because I was like, it said a canon moment, a canon event is coming up.
Right.
I'm like, oh shit, the canon moment. Well, I thought it was
I
thought either the kid was supposed to die or the dad, but I feel like we knew it was the dad because Spot had just showed us. So I knew it was the dad was supposed to die.
So technically, unless y'all caught it, when I was looking at that clip, I was like, I don't know who this other guy is, but I see his father. So I was just like, okay, he has to
Oh,
try to
yeah,
find and save his father. But in that, when Spot was showing Miles, it was 2 men, but we
it
hadn't
was two.
seen, or we did
We
see
did.
him.
It was in the flashback. You just have to catch
Right.
it. You just have to catch it that quick moment.
And then it being explained to the Spidey in India, you see he's dating the daughter of the captain who he was trying to save. I thought,
allegedly,
honestly,
I don't know if he is or not though.
He just might be
that was a little shaky.
Wait. I wouldn't even go in there. I was just saying, I think they may just be friends and he just put more on to it. But they might be.
I mean, I just go off his story. I don't think he's a liar. His hair is too beautiful for him to be like a liar. But
so you falling for the hair. You
I mean, he seems his jokes be lit. And he seems like he channels people's energy. But I thought since he always talks, he has so much positivity for a Spider-Man. I was like, he may have not had his big pain yet. Like everybody else has. Like everybody else doesn't seem as excited as him. So I was like, maybe his girlfriend dying was supposed to happen and he was supposed to save her. So when it went to the captain, I was like, oh, okay. So my theory was, it was a 5-second theory, but not a lot. It was a lot off. But
I didn't want to say that because I don't want to be the person. But as long as you say it, hey, you heard him. You heard it here, folks. It wasn't me. But within that, he has, Spider-Man India is in the midst of trying to save, his girlfriend. We're gonna say girlfriend because that's what he said. And he looks and see her father. He goes back to try to save a kid. But of course, Miles, who's not supposed to be there, is the extra hands that comes through, saves him, which starts this canon event, like the canon event that was supposed to happen stopped. Now this world is in jeopardy. I thought the world ended, but I mean, clearly it didn't because we seen him. Well, that's not clear because Miguel said his place ended, and we still see him. So I'm assuming they don't die once this happened. They just get to live their life.
I mean, technically, Miguel said he replaced himself and he was there for a while. So maybe it takes like 72 hours to 3 weeks. And then it was like, all right, y'all still fucking with this timeline. So we're just going to go destroy it.
We gotta wipe it.
Maybe they got a few days or a few weeks. So.
Man. And they, so we make it to like I said, we already spoke about it. We make it back to the Nueva York. Which is Earth 928. This is Miguel's universe. He's the one true Spider-Man of this universe, but he's a little different from the rest of them. I hope they get into the vampire aspect of it because we seen him about to tear into Vulture, but he gets stopped. So
you don't look like a good guy.
Not from where I'm standing.
I'm like, bro, you was about to eat that paper because that's what Vulture was. He was paper. So I'm like, what you about to do, Miguel? But
I guess he would have been bleeding for him. And then we get introduced to this universe. So we see a lot of different Spider-Man, cartoons, comics. We see live action people, a lot of different things. And we get like the payoff from Spider-Man Homecoming. In that movie, of course, Donald Glover was Aaron. He played Aaron in that movie. He had an uncle, he had a nephew in Brooklyn that was getting big. So we see why they put Donald Glover in that Prowler uniform as somebody that was caught as an anomaly in that situation. How did y'all feel about this Donald Glover pop up?
Man, there wasn't a lot of POC in my theater showing when I went and saw it, but I was just like, man, hey, this is tough. And like, I had some people that know who Donald Glover is, and like I had to look over to him like, man, y'all know that's tough. Like that's when I was starting to think like, bro, is Shameik gonna like pop up as Miles at the end or like whatever? I was in that mode. Like I was like, woo, like anything could happen. So, especially with the live action Spider-Man being announced, it was definitely like, it was a lot to handle on the first watch with all the Spider-Man cameos and all that. Spider-Man fans, like, hey, 2 thumbs up. I was definitely here. But yeah, I definitely love the Glover reference. And I just, I love where it's going. I see where it's going, I see where it's going. My heart feels warm.
You see you bold there to say you see where it's going. I do. Hey, I have no fucking idea what's about to happen because the way this movie ended, Like, is there a two-part, like there has to be, is the next one the end, or is there has to be something else, right?
I think there has to. And like I was watching the Fandango interview with Shamik, Gwen, the who plays Gwen, what's her name?
Haley
Haley. I thought that was
Stansfield,
her name. And
aka Hawkeye.
yeah, and I thought and Jake Johnson, and they were just they were talking about that, like how the future of Spider-Man, and Shamik was just really staying calm on like, I can't say too much right now, and I was like, okay. And now seeing the movie, like I understand, like we don't want too much too early, but we want the movie not 5 years later. I'm glad it's coming next spring. So,
Yeah.
I'm
When it
happy about
comes
it.
to
I'm
when
happy
it
about
comes
it.
to cartoon animation, this was one of them. What's the other one,
Puss
Jazz?
in Boots.
Invincible. Invincible. We still waiting on that to,
Oh,
and waiting on that to drop. But we know, like I said, when it comes to animation, it takes a lot. So once the money is there and it's funded and they know they're getting sequels and things of that nature, then they can produce them a lot faster, a lot quicker. So this movie I think is already 3 times ahead of what it was the first
killing
movie
it.
5 years ago. So I'm prepared. I'm strapped in. It's the animation, and Hobie is talking to our guy Miles. He's trying to figure out why is Miles even doing this. Like, what is he doing it for? He said, "I want to watch." He was like, "Shit, make one." Like, but that's just who he was. He was just like, I'm not a part. Like, you trying to fit into a structure, bro. Stand out. Like you are that. Like you can be. I'm not
Be
saying
that
necessarily
guy.
be like me,
Yeah.
but you are that guy. And like you trying to fit, conform to what's going on here. But he told him the one thing I loved. He was like, just don't enlist until you know who you're fighting for. And
Yeah.
that was like a big thing within that because he had to fight the entire goddamn crew.
Yeah,
Which brings
and when
up,
that happened, Hobie was like, "I'm gonna go take a quick. I'm gonna go take a quick." That was tough. That was tough. That's how I am. Like, fuck all the bullshit. I'm doing my own thing. Like, I understood Hobie. And he's trying to get
saying,
Miles on the same page.
Right. So I love their interactions because he was putting Miles on so much game. He was just like,
Yeah,
why do you want all of this? You got a really nice family. He's like trying to indirectly tell Miles, this ain't the gang you want to jump in, my nigga. Go home to your parents.
yeah,
Don't do this because he of course knew why Miles was there. He already knew what was going to happen, what was coming back up. And it's funny because I didn't see this until my rewatch. Do y'all remember when they were walking into that room and Hobby took that thing off the wall? He was like, "What you think this do?" And Miles was like, "Whatever it did, it's probably broke because you ripped it out the wall."
mm-hmm.
He was
yeah.
collecting devices to make his own watch, which he
You see,
left at Gwen's crib.
he
Yeah.
pulling a
When his
little
dad
rocket.
gave to Gwen, right?
I think he was pulling a rocket, getting piece by piece every day, and just built the tools that he needed. And he gave it to Gwen for Gwen to move around like she needed to at the end.
Yeah,
Like I
and that's
saw
what.
that.
Yeah, that's tough. That's what Gwen like. He gave to Gwen's dad, and that's when he said, "Hey, I'm gonna go take a
Right.
quick thistle." Like he went to go, "Hey, get this to your daughter."
Yeah.
Okay,
Like
I was wondering where that payoff was going to happen, like if it happened or if we were waiting until later. But that makes a lot of sense, actually. That he made he made his own, jumper, wrist jumper, or whatever they
because
wear.
when he went through the portal, when he left, he took his off.
Mm-hmm.
Which I mean, once you quit, it's deactivated anyway. He was just like, I can just make my own. So I thought that was dope that he just went to Gwen's universe and just dropped that off to her and just left her a note, even though her dad was like, he was a strange character.
Yeah, and it tells a lot
Piece
about
of work.
Hobie and like what Gwen, why Gwen falls for all these Spider-Mans because they got their own thing. Even like us as fans,
All
like
right.
Hobie came to the no, but listen, but us as fans, Hobie came to the screen and bought his own natural vibe. We
Mm-hmm.
rock with that. You know what I mean? Like you do your own thing out in this world, people gonna rock with your vibe. You know what I mean? So I definitely got
100%.
what Hobie was doing, and like you said, he was putting Miles on game to be one of these strong brothers out here. Like, hey, you don't got to follow what everyone else is doing out here. My man. So you got the power to do it. Everyone else, what you got, so just do your own thing. You know what I mean? You
Mm-hmm.
Spider-Man, dog.
Mm-hmm.
So, have your own vibe to it and, do what you do. And that's what Hobie was bringing to the screen. And like, hey, fist up. I loved it. I dug it a lot. A
No, I
lot.
like and I love how they did the color on him as well. Like whenever he tapped or touched himself, his color changed. Like
Mm-hmm.
the tone of him changed, just different moments and things like that. And they said it took like almost 3 years to get the animation just for his character alone. in there. Just seeing how they, like I said, you're using this animation across the screen with other like there's different animated people, and like everybody is animated completely different. The way the shadows on them, the way the colors blend, the way they touch, it's unique. It's very unique, and I appreciated them for doing that. But the next person that pops up was our guy Peter B. Parker. He pops
Late
up,
in the
got a little
movie.
baby
Late in the
carriage.
movie.
Which I think about Peter B. Parker's growth and development, because at the end of the previous movie, you know, Miles asked him, "How do I know if I'm going to be Spider-Man?" That's how it began, but it ended with, "How do I know if I'm going to fail with Mary J?" Like it was that movie was definitely a beautifully written. And Jazz, unfortunately, no black people wrote on this
Really?
either movie. No. Mm-mm.
Crazy, because there's like you
That's
would think
tough.
that the way the dialogue is.
Right.
It was probably a lot of conversations, a lot of conversations.
Well, there's
So
some woke people writing it.
you think
I
they
think it was
just
just.
they like implanting themselves with their black friends and taking all the dialogue and then bringing it to the script
I
without
mean,
giving them credit?
to a certain extent, I feel like they you know.
Damn.
No,
That's
but man, that is a good question.
because like
That's
honestly,
crazy.
like looking at this dialogue and everything in here, I definitely would have thought you had a person of color writing or helping on this script. So for that not to be it, it's like, I mean, maybe they just not listed. I don't know.
They have. So the movie is unique because I mean it's an animation, so it's a little bit different. So the writers are no, they're all white. But the directors, there is, um, I mean, I want to make sure he's from, one director is from Portugal. There is a black man, in the director seat as well. So I mean, you got one, and you also have a white gentleman as a director. So there's three directors, there's three writers. So you know, however that. So I'm assuming that was their end with him,
Yeah.
in there. But I mean, when you come to it, just being totally honest, within that, Miles was the only black person here besides his dad and Hobie.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I mean, you have the
You
Latino
got Issa.
Oh, you got Issa. You do have
Yeah.
Issa, but Issa was Issa though. She probably. I feel like I feel Issa.
What?
I mean, Issa is Issa. I feel like Issa probably right for herself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just, you know, just within that, like is Issa within that. So
Well, Jason, to go back on your the Peter B. Parker question, I had to sit there and think about it for a minute. You know, even though we didn't get his introduction to about, you know, late in the movie, and you're kind of sitting there thinking like, all right, when you know, we need Peter like right now. You know, he comes in the right moment, and then you're like, damn, Peter, what's up with you? You know, so to where like you get the same vibe, you put him on the same pedestal as, you know, Gwen at the moment, like
yeah, oh Jesus.
just at the moment, you know, because like everything that's going on, but you
Not at the
know,
moment, shit. I from when once Gwen was moving shady, I didn't trust anything in the Spider Universe. Like nothing about that universe was trustworthy. Penny
no, I was
neither,
talking about putting
when she
Peter
pops
in
her
the
ass back up.
Peter over there at the moment, you know, putting Peter on not trusted at the moment because like, damn, Peter, you chasing me too? I thought you'd be the one helping me fight, you know. So it was
Hey, bro, that because that was some, because I was one, like he talking about some hold the baby. Nigga, what? We in the
right,
middle of a chase. I'm not trying to
right,
hold your kid. Get the fuck out of my face, bro. Fuck
right.
that kid.
But I love
Mayday, Mayday, fuck
I
Mayday.
think I love how Peter, you know, he definitely from Into the Spider-Verse, he definitely took what, you know, you can tell that he was a mentor, but he definitely saw a lot in Miles and took everything that he said, you know, hey, go back home, make things right. You know, he listened to what Miles said truly, and you know, it just wasn't he wasn't blowing smoke up his ass, and there wasn't one thing in one ear out the other, you know. So he took that and ran with it. And at the end of the day, like, you know, besides Peter, like you from how much Peter looks into Miles and puts that into his own life, all the Spider-Man want to be Miles and stuff. And it starts with Peter B. Parker and like, what was the pregnant Spider-Woman, you know, even, you know, they're giving Peter B. Parker shit about, oh, how you're a good mentor and stuff. And then here comes Miles hitting this hard ass move and stuff. And, you know, Peter's, you know, silently happy about that because he just taught Miles how to get into that form, you know. So you sit there and it's that big brother bond. I get that big brother bond with Peter B. Parker for sure. Like, that's my guy. You know, you might like, damn man, what you doing? But you know, we're gonna be on the right track you know, we was on the right track at the end of the movie. He was on the
Yeah.
right page.
Because I'm not gonna lie, like when his little wristband went off and it was like
Mhm.
location here, I was like, Peter, come on, Peter.
Yeah.
Like, because I didn't put Peter on the doing it to anything to stab Miles in the back list. I guess I had too much hope in these characters.
I did.
But
Mine was
I,
when he was talking to them, he was like, "Shit, y'all just doing it again." Like, so that's what you here for? Like to let me down easy? That's what
Right.
that's what y'all thought y'all was doing? In that, in which we kind of find out what what the real reason Miles is actually there. They was actually going to try to hold him to ensure his dad died. Like that was the goal. The goal was to keep him in there until his dad died, then let him out. Like just to let him out to the world.
how did y'all feel about this scene of us getting the whole Spider-Verse different events that have to happen in every Spider-Man's story? Like, how did y'all feel about this scene? Because to me, I thought it was crazy, but I'm curious of what y'all thoughts are.
It was a
Go ahead,
moment.
Jason.
It was a moment. In the video game, the dad does. I mean, spoiler alert. I mean, which we already said that a long time ago. But in the video game, he dies. The dad does die, but it's not in Miles' game. Miles' game picks up after Peter has taught him, and then Peter goes on vacation. That's the Miles game. But in the Peter's game, the Sinister Six, he's fighting the Sinister Six, and they have concocted a bomb to blow up when he was already captain, but he had just achieved some type of award and he dies. But this is when they allow you to play with Miles just a human. So you just kind of playing them like, man, I hope they create this Miles game at some point. So for them to stay with that, it's not looking good for Jefferson. It's definitely not looking good for Captain Jefferson, man. I'm hoping so, because we just had this big thing of the MCU making sure they kill all the the black people out of it. So we do have that. We just got Mama for Wanda was killed in Black Panther.
Crazy.
The dad was killed. It typically happens. I don't think. I mean, and unfortunately, that would be a plot point for it. I mean, it's what makes him Spider-Man, but that's what made Peter Spider-Man as well. Like the losses that he took. Like he took a lot of losses from, girlfriend, best friend, dads, people turning on them. Like that's a part of the journey, but unfortunately that's something that I don't know if everybody really understands what makes Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, yeah. For sure. That makes that just makes, I feel like it starts with, everything at home, like, what makes Miles, and
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you couldn't have said that perfect for real. That was definitely well said.
And then we got this, which I call it the Spider-Man hunt, because they go ahead and capture him. Hobie, like you said, Jazz tells him use his palms, not just his fingertips, because I think he was also burning his fingertips as well. So he was like spread that out, like spread that energy around, and he breaks out. He escaped, which was kind of like in the first movie. They Spider-Man capture him in the seat. He has to use his venom power to get out. He uses it again to escape, and then he begins this amazing chase scene. What did y'all think about this chase of the Spider-Men's and women's?
It was fun. You got some dinosaur Spider Rexes in there, like doing their thing, like the cowboy. I thought it was so cool how they just incorporated all of it. I'm like, so wait, all of y'all Spider-Men's and women can't capture one? But I was like, nah, let me not. I was just like, hey, y'all can't capture nobody. I was like, I mean, shit, I guess Miles is that dude. Cause I'm like, y'all looking real questionable. But his plan to get out of there and just to bring all of them to that tunnel, or I guess that subway, wherever it was going, I thought that was genius.
This was
They was just like, does he even have a plan? He was like, no, he doesn't have a plan. And I was like, I mean, I'm just rolling with what I got. But
I feel like this was the scene where I was like, I really could just sit back and just be a Spider-Man fan for like, all right, I'm like 2 to 5 minutes. But before it even happened, and all the Spider-Man were coming up, like that was, I felt that's when I was like, bro, like this is one of the best movies I've ever seen. Because Top Gun Maverick, like that's when that's why we go see movies, especially like prequels and sequels for nostalgia feeling. Like in that scene, like even before he started putting his hands on the thing, like you could just look off in the distance of the screen and find one different Spider-Man that was like popping up in the scene. And I was like, bro, that art is so. I was like, that's just so cool. And I was just like, I appreciate it in every way. So that was one of the better scenes for me. And it's hard picking the Spider-Man that was awesome out of that. I seen so many different ones, and on the second watch, you see so many different ones because you watch everything in a different way. You're like, man, I didn't even see that the first time, and you're just like, geez. So, Spider Society was definitely lit. Was definitely lit for sure.
It was. Just speaking back on what you said, like I enjoy the movie feel. Like if I go to the movies and see it, like I would prefer to see it because it's just something about being in that theater. Just this, like I said, we surround sound, the darkness, the screen,
people's
just
reaction,
people enjoying. Around people that want to watch the movie, enjoy the movie with you as well. So I enjoy that like that. Just movies are making you go back to the movies for me anyway. The movies I've been seeing, I've been thoroughly enjoying. But yeah, this was a task. Like I said, this was a task. Like I said, we already kind of touched on when he escapes the Spider-Man, he makes it back into the place where I think her name was Spider Kiss, I believe is her name. He makes it back into the building with the
Avatar.
The Avatar, and
But
he go ahead, Jay.
Jason, I don't mean to cut you off, but I feel like we definitely got to discover that scene where he's on the train and Miguel is beating his ass, and Miles is like, I'm sick of people trying to tell me my story because we come to find out everything at this point of things connected to the last movie of how Miguel is just.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say how Miguel basically just told him like you're an anomaly. Damn.
Anomaly.
Yeah,
y'all got it.
Anomaly.
Right.
Then you're like, what? And then you're like, it's not meant to be. Like, there's no way.
He's saying all of that, and then the fact that Miguel was just like, we discussed this, and Miles is looking at Peter and Gwen like, y'all discussed this? Y'all already had a conversation? And Gwen was just like, I didn't know. 1 second, 2 second, 3, had to tell you. Like, she had such a long pause. I'm not gonna lie, I felt bad. I chuckled a little bit because if I was Miles in that moment, I'd have been like, this bitch.
Right.
But because I was like, damn, Gwen, like you knew the entire time. And it's just, I'm curious if she never went to go see him, would everything have unfolded the way that it ended up? Or could it have?
What if it's all a setup to, Miles to be the new 2099, but not the 2099, for Miles to be the head of the society? Maybe it's just all a twist to get him out the picture, because he's not even supposed to be there,
I mean, he's not.
In reality.
I do feel like that was the point of the movie. Like, he's never supposed to be there. Like, he wasn't supposed to, but he's showing you why he deserves to be. So that's what that overcoming everything that was said and that was told, and it was everything his mom told him before he left. Like, they're not gonna root for you, they're not gonna celebrate you, they're not gonna have your back. It's gonna be you. But when you come back, and it's another thing with, his mom made him make a promise to come back. Before he come in the previous movie, she did the same exact thing. Is they told him about keeping his promises. Don't make promises you can't keep. And I love how they bring those moments and those things, just bring them back up, because it definitely is genuine. And like I said, although he wasn't supposed to be bitten, it kind of makes you wonder who was in that situation. So like, right. Where is that person? Is there even that? Is that person even there? Because I mean, eventually, like you said, it's a multiverse. So, every one of you ain't gonna be you. Every person ain't gonna be a Spike. Because I mean, you have a lot of Peters, you have Gwens, you have all these different people in different ethnicities. So, but where are the bad Peters? I mean, where's the bad Peters? Where's the bad Peters? Where are the bad? What about Miles?
We already see one of them platted up.
Crazy.
Braided up. You know, plaits. He braided up.
Maybe that artist wasn't there that day, so they just had to do different kind of braids.
And on the second watch, that's where like the small dialogue, that's when I caught like, oh, that small dialogue. I was like, oh, this ain't where Miles is from, you know? He's like, because his Uncle Aaron was like, oh, you took your braids out?
Oh no,
Right.
I knew that a long time. But then if you really like, if you just really paying attention to it, when Miles is outside and he goes into the house versus when Gwen is outside of the house, it's raining like shit where
Yeah, yeah,
and Spider-Woman is. It's raining like a
yeah.
motherfucker. But when you go to where Miles is, there's no rain, clear skies, it's nothing. So it's just like so if you look at the window, because that's what she remembers, she's at the window looking inside the room. It's raining like hell. So it looks as if, or feels as if, she's listening to the conversation. But then if you look at, I'm like, wait, it would still be raining where he was at too. But then the room's different. The room is completely different too. There's some things that are similar, but like in
You're
the
right.
evil Miles room, there's a punching bag in the room. But in Miles' room, it's like an award or something that's hanging up in that same exact spot.
Yeah, and yeah, you're right. You kind of you pick up all them pieces, but when Uncle Aaron came in, I was like, oh, something's definitely not right for sure, 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, we kind of like, and it is cool like how you're flowing with the movie, and it places them titles, Earth this, Earth that. You know, we're here, we're there, but it takes a second watch to really settle down because the movie starts off with the uppercut, like whew,
Right.
Floyd, like you got a lot to really take in. So it takes a second, third watch to really understand like the timeline and what was going on to really place yourself in the right moment that it's going on between across the Spider-Verse, you know.
I'm not even gonna lie. When I realized Miles was in the wrong universe, I said, "Oh shit." And I'm just sitting there and I was like, this was a twist I wasn't expecting. I thought we was gonna get like a fight outside his dad's house. But then I was just like, wait. His mom was like, what you do differently with your hair? And I was just like, okay. But then when he asked her, when he told her after his speech, like, I'm Spider-Man, and she just looked like, who? On my second watch, I was just like, she even mentioned, she talked to the husband about Spider-Man earlier in the movie. So then it was just like all those pieces coming together where it's just like, damn. So I didn't peep when you mentioned when the weather and all of that. I ain't even seen none of that on my first watch. I thought Gwen was just outside listening. I'm like, is you gonna go into the house? Because Issa's outside. I'm like,
I think you don't notice either because you're so into the moment of like, you
right.
know, what Gwen just went back home too. So we're still kind of stuck on like what she's got going on, you know, like what she's gonna do, you know, because they both kind of, you know, Miles thought he went home, and you know, Miguel's just like, hey, pack your bags, Gwen, you're going home too. So it's kind of the moment at a movie, like as a movie watcher, you're like, okay, like how's this gonna wrap up, you know? And with that being said, like, were we okay with the cliffhanger or were we not? Like, did you need a little bit more or what? I mean, we obviously need to. We want the next movie tomorrow, but that's not gonna happen.
I
But
mean, you knew it was going to end somewhere around there, but I personally don't like cliffhangers in movies. Like Infinity War was a dope cliffhanger, just given how it was given. Because it also was complete. Like that could have been the end of it. Like you know at some point there's something that's going to happen. That could have been just the end though. I don't like this. It's like I didn't like that we have to get the next one in this. It could have been a way to just end it, like where it's like, oh shit, we don't know what's gonna happen, type of thing. Like this is more so like, yeah, we have to get another one in there, which I know we for sure gonna get it. You know, not concerned about that because just given the way it's tracking.
I was pissed off at this cliffhanger. I said, what the fuck? I said, holy shit. I said, y'all ain't shit. I was laughing. It was a love and hate thing for me because I completely forgot there's another film coming out. Completely forgot. So I'm just sitting there and I'm like, oh, this seems like they about to end, but nah, we need a battle. We got too much to cover. And then it just cut. And there's no post-credit scene in this movie. No mid-credit. You don't get none of that. They just saying bye. See you in a year. They're just leaving you hanging. And my theater, and I don't know if y'all had the same experience, everybody was like, what the hell? They was like, oh no. Like nobody knew the cliffhanger was gonna be that crazy. which I appreciated because that means people wasn't spoiling it to that level. Because if I would have saw on Twitter it's a really mean cliffhanger, then I probably would have not been as pissed off. But I'm glad I didn't see nothing because I was pissed off, but then I started laughing. I was like, damn, y'all got me.
Yeah, I feel like it's the thing with me, like I can accept it, but it's like with Creed, 1 through 3, that's something to really talk on. Like it's really hard to just keep making it great. And now, like with this being phenomenal, like there's some really high stakes for it to end well, so like, as fans, there's gonna be fans that like aren't happy. There might be fans that love it, but it just has to be done right to where like, it's tough to leave on a cliffhanger to where like, this third movie means a whole lot.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. I think it's gonna be fire, and the only
I
reason
do
why
too,
I think
100%,
that is
but it has to be.
because I didn't think they would match part one. To me, this movie exceeds part one.
Yes.
Not downplaying part one at all, but this movie was A1 all around. And then I think the story that they put together, you have so many different avenues to go down. I think it's going to be great. I am so excited.
I am too.
I am too. I'm definitely excited.
I do have a question for y'all, since we were just talking about the cliffhangers between Infinity War and this movie. Which cliffhanger do you think was the most what the fuck that had you just like, oh shit?
Oh, it had to be Infinity Wars because like just like the Thanos impact, like we didn't get the even though we loved the spot, we didn't get like all that just yet, to where like Infinity Wars brought that vibe to where like Jason said, it could have just been done and like we could have been okay with that. And it's just hard. That was a good second to last movie. That was one of the ones, for sure. So I'll definitely stick on Infinity Wars. That's one of my favorite wrap up movie, like one of the end up wrapping movies for sure.
Yeah, like I said, for me, like cliffhangers, like I need even like you can do a cliffhanger, but it can end. You know what I mean? Like it can be a cliffhanger, but it's like it end like Sopranos. Like I didn't watch The Sopranos. I'm watching it now. But like, I know how it ends. So it ends on a cliffhanger where it's like, okay, they could bring this back if they wanted to, but they don't have to. That could just be the end of it. Like the story, there's a completion. So the what the fuck I had for Infinity War was like, bro, what the fuck is gonna happen next? The what the fuck for this is like, bro, they gonna end it like that? Like, just it's not even complete. We have to get the next one. It's not even and I don't like that.
You didn't think that for Infinity War?
No, I didn't, because I knew Infinity. So for Infinity War, I knew it was coming back for one. Like you can't end it with the villain. I mean, you could, which I would have been perfectly okay with that ending that way, and it started a new saga. I would have been okay with it, and it started a new saga with them trying to figure out how to bring the people back or how to do like that. Would have been okay with me, but this is just like. That was the weakest part of the movie for me.
Nah, man.
That was the weakest part of this movie for me. I love the movie, but that was the weakest part. It's like, damn, really? A whole year to figure out if this nigga finna blow his nigga head off, but they finna be teammates. Like, what's finna happen? Like, what's really finna happen in this? Like,
nah, I'm not gonna lie. As upset as I was, I said, damn, y'all got me. Like, I was laughing as I was leaving. I was like, damn, I want to see more. But I was like, y'all got me. Because that was I hate cliffhangers, but I can also appreciate a very good cliffhanger.
See, okay, Thor 3. Thor 3 cliffhanger was dope as fuck.
Okay.
You see what I mean? But it was finished. The movie, it's done. The story is done. Even if it introduces Infinity War, but that story was done. It was just like.
So I will say I prefer a cliffhanger that has me wanting more. And I feel like if you know that it's not complete, it pisses you off more. Cliffhangers are supposed to piss you off. They're not supposed to make you feel good at all. So if you think about a cliffhanger, I'm going to make sure I leave them something that's going to have them upset and wanting more. and also just like curiosity killing and beating their ass.
Okay, so so let me, since we here, rank these cliffhangers then, right? So Infinity War, Across the Spider-Verse, Thor 3. Because both of these movies all these movies ended on cliffhangers.
Mm.
I'm gonna say my reaction. I'm going to go Across the Spider-Verse. I'm gonna go with Infinity War, and I'm gonna go Thor.
That's
So
me
Across
too.
Spider-Verse, your number one?
Yes, I'm not even gonna like
No.
because I don't remember leaving Infinity War with the thought of damn, like the same feeling. But I also had in my mind this movie, like part 2 is dropping in a year. Granted, I didn't have that seeing this because I thought the next movie was dropping in 2025. I told you I'm coming with Legends today, so
nigga,
like,
I was sad as a motherfucker out there. Infinity War, like they gonna kill him. They gonna kill him. But then they gave us the end credit,
they
giving
left
us
you
more
with
deaths
hope.
and things.
This didn't give us no hope. This didn't give us no end credit. It just said, "See you in a year, bitch."
It didn't even say that. It just said Miles will return. That's all it says. So, we got that. I think the only other part here we got to wrap up is Gwen's story because that's how it began. So we should end it with her. You have Gwen, her and her father. They finally have this conversation. Prior to in the beginning she gave him a hug and it was like a nice hug and she was waiting for that to happen. So she goes back and this conversation she's been holding out. She goes back, she finds out her dad quit the force. He's not even he may still be a cop. I don't know. It kind of left it like if he just left the job altogether. So he's at home. How did y'all feel about this full circle moment with her and her dad in the end?
I loved it. Full clarity moment, between being something you want, I feel like it was really, black and white, between the badge and being a normal person, you gotta put your whatever you got going on outside of yourself some time to understand some people. So I definitely I resonated with Gwen, I resonated with her dad, just putting yourself in the spot of, even with your parents, understanding sometimes, things they got going on and conversations and stuff like that. That's where, like I said at the beginning of this conversation, mental health was a real small part, but big part in this movie. And I feel like that, it resonated well with that end scene, just, hey, let me get a hug, and let's talk about some things. And I feel like Gwen really came within herself within that, but she came within herself too late to where I don't know what's going to go on in the third movie. But at the end of the day, she came to reality.
Do you think now that her father is no longer a captain, because in the Spidey timeline, a captain close to Spider-Man is supposed to die, but her father is no longer a captain. So you think that might change her canon event, since obviously now it won't happen because her father is no longer a captain? I thought about that at the end of my first watch, and I was just like, I'm curious if they're gonna bring that up, or do you think like it probably don't even matter?
I mean, it's probably a moment that she won't have because everybody doesn't have the same moments. There's just there are certain things that do intertwine y'all, which they, like you said, because even when it comes to who died in the previous movie, somebody said it was their father, somebody said it was their uncle, somebody, it just who dies, it was her best friend. So it gets kind of changes. So I'm pretty sure to be somebody else that end up passing. Within that, and it could be Miles' dad. It could be Miles' dad still for her. Like it's not her timeline per se, but it's gonna hit her just as hard because of who he is to her. And there's not a lot of relationship from Gwen and his dad, but I mean it's it's that interaction, that moment, that they have. So we'll see. But
I
we'll
like
see.
I like how the movie did that though. Like we're gonna get that moment of if like we don't see what happened, how Miles' dad dies. We just see that moment of his memorial and stuff. So we're gonna get that moment of if he saved his father or not. The true Spider-Man moment within Miles. He's only lost his uncle, but that meant a lot to him. But the next thing that could happen could really shape up Miles, and I feel like that was a great thing within this movie. It's just very open book.
Yeah. I enjoyed that, and she rounds up her own Spider-Man team.
Oh
We
yeah.
see, all the new guys from this one, Hobie, Spider-Man, India, Spider-Kiss, she pops up on the team, but she also enlists the guys from the first movie. You see how them come back. I don't think they have any
So
speaking
tough.
roles in here, but they do pull up at the end of the movie. But that's pretty much the end of Cross the Spider-Verse. So how y'all feeling, man? Was it good though? Which is the question that we like to ask. Was it good? I mean, I feel like it's apparent just given what Jazz, what we going I'm gonna start with you.
Absolutely. Like, I left out of the theater. I was like, I don't have nobody to call to talk to about this movie because nobody's seen it yet. So I was just like, the excitement. I couldn't geek out
Oh,
like I wanted to, but
this is a first for her. This is a first for her. She typically reaches out to me after she sees it because I'm the one that goes in first, but I have to push my little time back a little bit. When I went to what about you, Swerve? How you feeling, man? Was it good to you?
Man, was it good? Isn't even the question. It was phenomenal, and this is just one of the movies you got to catch in the theaters for sure. Like,
In the
don't
theaters.
don't do not wait for it to get out. Like, it's just meant to be watched on the big picture because you're gonna catch a lot of different things, and you're gonna be wanting to get some more before it leaves the theater. So, was it good though? Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. That's a stone cold one, but I loved it. I loved it, man. From beginning except the end.
look,
But again, I'm gonna still give it. I still give it 10 out of 10, man. I'm not. Let me be fair. Let me be fair in that.
well, let me go ahead and ask y'all this. Like, since we here and we done judged this one, like top 3 Spider-Man movies. Timeline don't matter. Like, go ahead and give me a top 3. Y'all knew these questions was coming,
I mean,
so
no specific order because I don't think
I
I have
know
an order
mine.
right
I
now.
know mine.
I mean, I was gonna say an order, but you ain't got to say no order. You can
Okay,
just go
cool,
ahead and
cool,
give
cool.
them.
I'm gonna go Spider-Man 2, the original
Yeah,
Tobey Maguire.
Doctor Ock, Doc
Yeah.
Ock, and all that. Yeah.
Am I going with no? I'm gonna go No Way Home, and I'm gonna go Into the Spider-Verse. I think those would be my 3 right now. I'm not ready to dethrone the first movie to put in Across the Spider-Verse just yet. That I'm not ready for that just yet.
Okay. Swear, what are
Yeah, I
yours?
I respect that. I feel like we love something as soon as we watch it, but it takes that year or so for it to come out on TV and watch it at home and watch it in your setting to be like, all right, I really appreciate a movie. So man, I'm gonna go. No Way Home's gonna be number 2. Like, it's just like it's good. I've seen some better ones, but it's number 2. Into the Spider Verse, it's definitely still gonna sit at number 1. And I'd have to go across at number 3. I watched Spider-Man 2 last week. It still hits. Like, that's why we love Spider-Man. That's definitely why we love Spider-Man. But I can resonate with the trial of Miles Morales more than Tobey Maguire. So I
Oh
got
yeah,
I got to put 3 there. I feel like me being a movie watcher, it's about a personal feel and how movies make you feel. And Miles has always made me feel something. So I would definitely have to put that 3rd.
I can respect that.
For sure. So mine, in this order, 1 through 3, is going to be Spider-Man Across Spider-Verse, No Way Home, and Far From Home. Yes, happy ledges.
Far From Home was good. So no one
Far
was
From
rocking
Home
with
was
Homecoming.
good. Oh shit, that was a cliffhanger too.
Yeah, it was.
But that was
Homecoming
a
was
bum
good.
ass cliffhanger though. That wasn't like you wouldn't, you know what I mean? Like that
Hmm.
that would be up there.
It
Yeah,
would be.
Homecoming would be my alternate for sure. I liked
So
it a lot.
Swerve, since we haven't talked to you about any of this. Like this is new to this. Well, to us in our universe, multiversal. This is multiversal. So I know me and you chatted one time. We talking about power. So hopefully we can get that
Okay.
conversation. I try to get Jazz in it, but it is what it is. Um, Marvel, man, you have a top 3, top 5? I heard you
Top 3
having a
movies
conversation.
or characters?
We talking. So you know what? Since you want to open up the conversation like that, we're gonna go movies. We're gonna go movies first.
Okay.
Top. You know, you got to, if you have a top five, you give me a top five. Give me a
So
top
I'm
three.
not putting the Spider-Verse series in any of the Marvels.
That's fine.
So
That's fine.
you know, with Guardians coming out, I feel like that was a very impactful movie. You know,
Amazing.
I live down here in Missouri in the country, so James Gunn's from here. You know, like yacht rock music and all that. I appreciate that. Like I wake up and do all that golf and all that. So like another thing why we love that movie is definitely the music and to the picture, you know. You resonate totally different. So
Amazing.
Guardians has to sit there. Like I've been thinking about it all week before I watched Spider-Verse, and Spider-Verse just held me over. Like I'm gonna have to go watch it again. So I'm gonna have to go Guardians. It's gonna be Infinity being number 2.
Ooh,
so Infinity was just great. I loved it a lot. And actually No Way Home is number 3. So, you know, I caught COVID at the theater watch of No Way Home. Literally fell asleep when it was in it. So like when dude was doing the thing like, oh, this is Spider-Man, everyone was literally clapping and stuff, which I hate. You know, I hate clapping during the movie. But I was like, I told my friend, like, I don't care what happened. So I ended up watching like 2 months later at home to really appreciate it through the third eye. And I was like, yeah, that's a good Spider-Man. But I watched Into the Spider-Verse, which is the best Spider-Man, but that's not on that category. So No Way Home would be number 3. Endgame, definitely number 4. Great wrap up. Great wrap up. I loved it. I loved how they blended all the characters. That was the true movie. That was one of the movies that made me really appreciate Doctor Strange with, you know, Iron Man leaving and how much he has coming to the MCU and stuff. He's gonna play a big picture, I feel like, down the road. And you know, people sleep on this one, but the 5th one's Eternals. I love it. Eternals is a great movie. I
I'm one of the people that sleep on it. I'm gonna
You
be
sleep on
honest.
Eternals?
What about the attorney? Because that's you probably like, you know,
So
you're an anomaly here. So what about that movie makes you
so
makes you put it so high?
so as when that movie came out, I knew it was made by Marvel, but I wasn't when I went, I didn't go watch it in the theaters. I just waited for it to like it just came out. And but all my friends were talking about it and stuff. And so I wasn't putting it in a place of watchment of like Avengers, you know, Thor Ragnarok. I wasn't like, oh, let me go. I'm expecting this, you know. I wasn't expecting none of that. I was just expecting a great movie. So it's like, you know, the small music of like the rock and roll and Sprite being the narrator and all that. I was just really drawn in as like, you know, I just felt like I was reading a book, but it was a movie, and it was just really great. Icarus brought a true Superman vibe, like, and I was like the whole time, like, dude, that dude makes me like he feels like Superman, like, you know, like he had that vibe to it. So I just thought it was one of the better origin stories that, you know, brought its own originality to the Marvel game, and like, you know, it was kind of cheesy and like off spin a little bit, kind of how like Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings is to start, but it ends fire. But Eternals is fucking good. It's just different. It's just different. You know, I appreciate different movies, and you know, I like to feel each character in you know a different role, and you can resonate. Like, all right, I know what they got going on. From the deaf girl doing the signs and stuff, like that's super powerful and all that. And like for her being really deaf in real life to being power on the screen, like you got to think about different stuff like that, and it just makes you believe in yourself more, you know, even outside being a superhero, just what you got going on in life to, you know, just stay strong, you know, and that's a strong movie. You know, very critical movie. A lot of people don't like it. 2.5 on Letterboxd, but I love it. I love it.
Nah, I'm not even mad at your explanation for all of that. That's really dope. I'll say it wasn't high on my list, but I know when we had our Guardians review, we mentioned some of the top fight Marvel battles, and Eternals definitely holds one of those.
Oh,
because
for sure.
that last fight was insane. But let me ask you this question, because since you enjoyed that movie so much, and I've had conversations with Jason before, and I suggested with so many different characters you're introducing, do you feel like Eternals could have succeeded more if it was more of a Disney series than a movie?
Ooh, that's a good question. Kind of because you kind of have like more because you could have kind of had more time to slow down and
Right.
have the origin story between Sprite,
Yeah.
Icarus, you know, like
to all of them, to where
I can see that. Yeah, I
and you
would.
would and you
Yeah,
wouldn't have even needed all of them in every episode,
yeah.
to where
I
you can just intertwine their stories a little bit, and to where they came together in maybe 1 or 2 episodes and made it like a 6, 8.
I'm thinking a 6-pack would have been
I
A
fine.
6
You
would have
could
been
take
good.
8.
I
We
honestly,
really talking about something.
I honestly think, yeah, I would have. Yeah, like why do we love Stranger Things so much? You
Oh
know,
God.
like we get a little time with each character, but we're home with them. You know, when they're in their bind, you know how they're talking. We're in each conversation. That's why we love small things like that. So I feel like with a team like that, it definitely would have been probably brought into into a series. Like think of the Justice League. You know, like
Yeah.
so stuff like that. So yeah. My question is yeah. I mean, my answer is yeah for sure, 100%.
So since you mentioned Justice League, so we're not even like this isn't. I'm gonna ask you your top. If you have 5, that's fine. Top 3 superheroes. Doesn't DC, MCU doesn't matter.
Top 3 superheroes. Okay, mine. So after watching Doctor Strange and Multiverse, Doctor Strange is up there right now for sure. I just feel like he, you know,
Run a lot.
the timeline's strong. You know, the timeline's strong. So, you know, even though he's not the Sorcerer Supreme, you know, he still does a lot within the MCU. You know, he had a lot to do with No Way Home, so it's gonna go Doctor Strange, Iron Man, because you know no one else can play the Robert Downey Jr. Like that's just one of them. Like that just gave me hope within superhero movies. You know, so definitely Iron Man. I would say Spider-Man, but it's like which Spider-Man? I don't know if I take Miles or Tom Holland. So like
I
both
mean, you
are
could just pick. I mean, you just pick. You don't have to be you don't have to be a TV
Spider-Man for
person. You
sure.
can just
Any
pick.
Spider-Man in general. And then I'm gonna go to Flash. Like the Flash has always been one of them guys that I just rock with. Like he just, he wasn't Batman, he wasn't Superman, he was just the Flash, and that he's just tough. So I can't wait to see that early viewing on the 12th. I'll give the Flash a 4th spot, and definitely Superman 5. Like love Superman, but he just like I grew different within like watching movies and all that with different superheroes. So like, yeah, I would give Superman the last spot, but Doctor Strange is up there for sure. I love Doctor Strange.
I can respect that.
And an alternate 6, I would take the Guardians of the Galaxy as a whole. You can't just pick one.
Nah, because one at a time, they're gonna get defeated every time.
Yeah. For sure. Where's Guardians rank on your guys' Marvel list? Because like that's the newest Marvel. Like, how did you guys appreciate it like I did?
So
it might be top. It might be top 5 for me. I think.
I'm not gonna lie. I think I've updated my favorite top 5 list.
Let's hear it. I want both of you guys.
Man, look, this is a judge-free ass space. So, and they're in this order. I'm gonna say Infinity War. I'm gonna say Across the Spider-Verse, and then Endgame, No Way Home, and then Guardians 3.
Okay.
She gonna keep sliding across the Spider-Verse inside this motherfucking list. she is looking to make me mad.
I love this. I love this movie. Like this is me indirectly telling both of y'all. This movie was amazing to me. So
we can tell.
Jason's just set on it not being MCU, huh?
I am. I am. That's just me. I'm gonna be anal about that one. So for me, it's hard for me to pick. I don't do picks. So if I have to pick, Infinity War, Guardians 3. Damn. Oh, shit. What's the Winter Soldier?
Yeah, that's a good one. Captain America's not my favorite though.
He not. I hate him. I hate him.
I'm not. This might make me sound like a hater. I love when I ask somebody their top 5, and Winter Soldier is not in there. That might make me sound like a hater.
You are a hater. Winter Soldier, Captain, not Civil War, but Infinity War, Guardians. I guess I'm gonna go No Way Home. I'm gonna throw No Way Home in there. And to round that out, man. So I'm not gonna I don't want to put 2 Avengers movies in there. I appreciate it, and I do love Endgame. Another one that I really like.
Go ahead and say Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi
it's in
slept
between
on.
Shang-Chi and
Slept
Thor
on.
3.
Shang-Chi slept on.
It is.
It's in between. I'm gonna do
I gotta
Shang-Chi.
revisit. I gotta revisit.
I'm gonna
Okay,
put Shang-Chi. I'm
okay,
gonna go ahead and put Shang-Chi.
two questions for you guys. Um, 2 movies and 2 shows for the people to watch right now.
Ooh, does it matter if the show is currently
Anything you just
all
think
right,
people need to watch. 2 movies, 2 shows.
2 shows, Yellow Jackets and Your Honor. Start with season 1. 2 movies, Evil Dead Rise and the movie Fresh on Hulu.
Fresh got Shamik in it, right?
No, it
Nah,
does not. No.
it's got
Who
Bucky.
the
That's
guy name
dope.
I'm thinking of?
There's a movie called Fred, but that's like the 90s. He definitely wasn't in that. So I think I know what you're referring to though. They
Fresh is
got
on
T.I.
Hulu.
in it.
That sounds right. That sounds right.
I think it's
I'm
over
gonna
with
have to text
T.I.
it to you.
It's like a little. It's yeah. I've never seen that. I know what you're referring to. But now Fresh is on Hulu. It has Bucky, Winter Soldier. He's the lead in that.
Okay, okay, okay.
Definitely peep that. Definitely peep that.
What you
So
got?
for me, I'm looking through my list because I write these down. So it hasn't come out yet, but I had an early screening weeks ago. The Blackening. Definitely got to go
Yes, I
watch The
gotta see
Blackening.
that.
That shit, man. From beginning to end, man. Definitely peep that. That movie is a movie, man.
So
That's
you've
real
seen it.
good.
You're gonna see
Yeah, I
it
seen
again?
it.
You're going to see it again?
Fuck yeah, I got to see it with with a regular crowd. I
Oh,
went to
how'd you
go
see it
see it.
already?
Just got a screening.
Got,
Somebody had sent me a screening. I went to go see it.
was it like a film festival?
No, it was just at a movie theater. It's
Oh,
at like a early screen. I think they're trying to get the hype going forward, but it
right.
deserves it. That movie great.
Okay.
I didn't even expect it to be that good. Another movie that I would suggest. I'm gonna go to Love Story. I'm gonna do Rye Lane.
Okay.
Since Jazz said Hulu, Rye Lane on Hulu. It'll put you in the mind of Intergalactic, but it's live action.
Okay.
Amazing movie. Just a different type of love story, but it's real good.
Okay. What's your 2 shows?
Two shows. I'm gonna do Poker Face. Cause
I started that. That's actually fire.
that show
Poker
is
Face is
amazing.
good.
And I'm gonna because I finished it last night. I'm going to say Dave. Dave season
Wow, you
3
gotta start that.
was amazing.
Gotta start.
I was wondering how they were going to get to it, and that was it's just a testament to either how big he is or who the hell he know. Because what the cameos he have in this show, you just like, who the fuck even thinks of, like, yeah, it's wild. Like that last episode, the finale last night, that was wild. Well, a couple of nights ago, whenever the finale came up, that show wild. So
All right.
Dave and Poker Face
All
definitely.
right, I'll get on that. The last question I got is if you're Nick Fury, who's your starting 5 for the Marvel? Like, who's your Avengers? You only get 5 and 2 alternates.
Starting 5 for me. Shit.
No DC.
Everybody alive?
Yeah. Everybody alive.
alive.
Yeah.
Spider-Man off top. Captain America. No. What the fuck? No. Not Captain America. What's the nigga name? Iron Man. Black Panther. Wanda.
All right, that's the first.
And Hulk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wanda's the first anyone's ever took. I respect that though.
Shit, after multiverse, I'm definitely pick. I need her to wipe some niggas out.
What you got, Jazz?
That's a good one. I am going to say Captain Marvel. I'm going to say Thor. I'm going to say Iron Man. I like that Wanda pick, so I'm going to scoop Wanda and I'm going to say Vision.
That's tough. That's
fucking what the fuck is Jazz? What the fuck Jazz fighting? Cosmic energies?
Hey,
God damn.
She finna set it off.
what you mean? Like you said, look, I need my starting 5. I ain't going weak. It's a lot of shit out there.
What you riding with, Swerve?
I'm going Doctor Strange. I'm gonna go Thor for sure. Like, you gotta have Thor on the team, 100%. Hulk, I'm going. Vision was definitely a pick on my starting five for sure because just how he came about from the stone and all that. Like, definitely need Vision, and it switches up from time to time, but that
Who,
fifth is
who
hard.
who is it today?
Iron Man. It's Iron Man. It's Iron Man. Gotta
Who
have him.
who's your alternate that goes into,
Alternate. Captain America.
because he can do it all day?
Yeah, because he's just like, you know what I mean? He just be out there. No. Alternate. No. Got to take Black Panther for sure. Or, Killmonger's not an Avenger, but I wish he was.
Yeah, they might say he's too radical.
Oh, that was my last question. Did you guys true thoughts on Black Panther 2?
You're not
Two
about to get
thoughts?
me.
You
Yeah.
said two thoughts?
No, true thoughts.
True thoughts on Black Panther?
Yeah.
Which one? That's just him as a whole, or
No, on Black Panther 2, the movie.
is it Black Panther 2 as a movie?
We need
It's
T'Challa. We need
it's-
T'Challa.
it's an emotional. I mean, it's an emotional movie.
It
I
is from the
am.
first 10.
I was on the side of don't recast T'Challa. There's a way to do it, and I do feel like based on the situation that they gave, it presented the best moment. And there's so many different ways to grow baby T'Challa up, so I wasn't mad at any of what was given.
I was happy with that.
Yeah, I'm definitely also in the same boat. I was like, I hope they don't recast him. I know a lot of people was upset that they didn't, but I mean, it was when your star passes away a year, like during production, and you're just like, we supposed to be filming. It's like,
Right.
and especially with this being somebody so close to the cast. So it was definitely tough, but I enjoyed it. It was very emotional. Yeah, I mean, it had its faults, but it didn't have as many as Doctor Strange 2 for me.
Or
Right.
Ant-Man. I don't like how they tried to make it like it was just so. Like, I don't know, they made it seem like it was something or something, I don't know.
I just don't like how through the years, like we've just been built on like Wakanda's this, and then like, I appreciate Namor and what he brought to the screen, but like he just made Wakanda look like nothing, and then especially like them giving the girl the Iron Lady suit or whatever, like, bro, they could have went to Wakanda and hit that up so many different styles, like, like that should have been the next thing to be Iron Man, but that could be the years to come with the show. But I heard it was canceled. I heard different things about it. They could be given that time to build up. I don't know. I appreciated the movie, but I think like the end credits with the young T'Challa gave me the best hopes, and I think we would have been upset as viewers with the recasting so fast because of the tragedy that happened. But I think now that we've had time to sit with it and we've gotten the Black Panther 2 and how it ended, I think that it will sit with us better, the recasting.
Do you think, because I think, Jason, I think I had this conversation with you because we were talking how Wakanda's like their war in an Endgame, they lost a lot of their soldiers, which is possibly why they didn't have too many in Wakanda too, because they were still trying to build that back up, because a lot of them got killed going against Endgame. So they were just trying to still get those warriors back up, which is why it may have seemed like they got their asses beat by Namor and all his squad, which, I mean, this man was controlling water. He was flying. Like, he's a mutant. So,
I mean,
but
just given, I mean, for me, like, just, I don't know. I mean, so for me, one of my favorite hero is Batman, right? So oftentimes people love, so look, the reason I'm saying this is the reason people always come at me is they always talk about how Batman got his ass beat, or he lost a certain fight at a certain point, or he got his back broke, all these different things but that's what I love that character, because it's a real moment. Nigga, you're not gonna win every fight. You're not supposed to win every fight. There's not a thing of somebody coming in and just dominating the entire type of thing. And if you go back to Black Panther shit, T'Challa lost every fight until the end of the movie. That nigga lost every fight until that movie
was on
ended.
that nigga ass.
So within this, I feel like Wakanda had to be taken down because they were on this high and mighty, we're above this, we're doing XYZ, this, that, and the other. You not really taking the threat seriously, so they had to lose. Like it was not even going to my typically it was written that way, but it was a thing of you had to see what that actually looked like see when they go up against a threat like this. So they can't just take things, they got to take those things more serious. I don't think they were serious at all. Like they just looked at it like they're not gonna do nothing.
Can't
Yeah,
step
we
on us.
Wakanda, they this, we don't even know who they are. Like what can they do to us? They
I never thought of it like that. You're right. That's something to think about.
Yeah, definitely. That's
Just kind of a wake up moment, you know.
Yeah, you got to, because you can't come in every battle like shit. We that person. Like you gotta lose at some point. Somebody gotta win, somebody gotta lose. And sometimes who you rooting for loses.
One more question, because they're just coming to me now. What's our hopes on the Flash, and what are you looking forward to coming this summer the most outside of the Flash?
So I'm gonna say this summer, The Blackening, absolutely. I'm completely excited for that film.
That comes out Juneteenth, right?
It's June 16th.
Okay.
Yeah, that movie looks fire. And then Jason, speaking highly on it, gave it high hopes. But normally when Jason rates movies, I'll be like,
Y'all got Letterboxd?
Nah, we definitely need to get that together though.
Yeah, I do need to do that. Promise.
But I'm gonna say The Blackening for sure, and then The Flash. I'm kind of excited for Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles because Seth Rogen's name is behind it.
And Spider-Verse vibes.
Yeah, so I would say those three. What about you, Jason?
What are you looking forward to most within the Flash, Jazz?
Michael Keaton.
See, I need to watch Batman 1989. Is it sad I ain't watched that?
Hold on. All right.
It's on my watch list for Monday.
Oh, the energy is switching. So wait, you haven't seen Batman or Batman Returns by Tim Burton?
None of them. Just Christopher Nolan's Batmans and the one with I call him Twilight dude because he ain't Batman. I'm Batman. That dude is not Batman at all.
That nigga's Batman. I don't give a fuck what
Robert Pattinson is not Batman, bro. That dude is not Batman.
No. That nigga year 2 Batman. Hey, if Miles can be Spider-Man at year 1, he's Batman. What are y'all talking about?
I gotta give him Jason, I gotta give him shit for not seeing Michael Keaton as Batman. So hold on your Batman bashing. How have you not seen Michael Keaton as Batman with Michelle Pfeiffer and Danny DeVito as the Penguin and
Jack Nicholson as Joker?
Nicholson as the Joker?
Yeah, I gotta get on it.
I am judging the hell out of you right now. I'm
asleep, and I ain't watched The Shining, so I gotta get on that too.
I ain't saying that neither. So you all right there?
No, you not all right. Just because you doing on the same shit don't mean he all right with his.
Hey, but I'll stand on that. Pattinson is not Batman.
That nigga's Batman. What do you mean? What made him not Batman?
Bruh, so you can tell me right now that you had more of an impactful feeling with Pattinson as Batman than Bateman. You can't tell me that.
You didn't even say his name. You didn't even say his name right.
I mean, not Bateman.
You didn't even say his name right. So goddamn right. Yes.
Name?
Christian Bale. That's
Bale. Yeah.
Yes. Go back. Okay, so you go watch Batman Begins, and then go watch The Batman. You tell me which one you feel better about at the end of that movie. It's Christian Bale did okay.
The Batman's great cop movie, but it's not Batman.
That's Batman. The thing that gets lost on people is Batman was a fucking investigator. That's the reason people always say with prep time, Batman can do this, and with prep time, Batman can do that, because that's what he does. But what they underrate Batman is he's good on the fly as well. I don't like how people always want to throw the whole thing. He got to do prep time, and this Batman's on the fly a badass motherfucker. And Batman is my number one hero. Spider-Man is my 1B.
Ben Affleck ain't Batman either.
Say it again.
Ben Affleck ain't Batman either.
He right. What? He right. No, he's right.
No, it's not a right moment. That nigga was Batman too. What the fuck are
he was a bum ass
Batman. No.
He wasn't bum.
There's one Batman. There's one Batman.
He was dope as Bruce, and he was dope as
I can't even give you all that respect because you haven't seen Michael Keaton as Batman. So realistically, this conversation is completely swayed because y'all niggas out here talking. You ain't even seen all.
Don't say y'all. Don't say y'all.
Swerve is missing a very important Batman.
I at least got to be right on this. Without watching them two, I at least got to know the Dark Knight is still the best Batman.
The best Batman movie?
Yeah.
Possibly. I'll give you that. I can give you The Dark Knight is the best Batman movie. I don't think is Christian Bale the best Batman?
Yeah.
No.
At presently, sure.
No.
Because Michael Keaton stands, they won't change, and that's who I grew up on as Batman. That was my first Batman. But as far as when it comes to heroes, Batman is the number one hero. And like you got animation, we got live action. That nigga Spider-Man is right there though. You know, but for me, your expectations for Flash, that's my number 2 hero. I am excited as fuck to see this movie. Like, I love the TV show. I watched the TV show. It got cheesy, got super repetitive. With watching it with Grant Gustin, but I love Grant Gustin as Flash. The powers of Flash. It's just he can get OP. He can get really OP when it comes to it. So I'm excited to see what this story is going to be. I still think the Flashpoint animation is one of the best animated films.
Hands
like
down.
From story to like that movie is amazing. Just given it just how they told their story, and it's still a trip. Like, you know, they killed Bruce, but they made Mama the Joker. They made, you know, Batman. I mean, the dad.
What is that? I never heard of that.
What?
They didn't make the mama the Joker. They just made it seem like the Joker killed the mama.
No, they
the
didn't.
Heard of that? Is this
Yeah.
all on like? Can I watch this anywhere?
Jazz, what now, Jazz? What? No, no.
You talking about the Flashpoint
the
paradox?
Flashpoint movie when she went crazy in the.
I mean, like, it she looked like she got like poisoned
Like
by
she
the
got- like she
Joker, but
there was no Joker yet.
no.
Where
It
can I
was-
watch this?
Wait, you haven't seen Flashpoint, the
This
animated
nigga
series?
here, man. He ain't got enough Batman history. That's why he laughed every time I mention Batman. This nigga ain't got enough Batman history to be talking about Batman and
Stop!
what's
You
good
lying!
and what's not.
You lying!
What is kept?
You haven't seen Flashpoint? Swerve, you haven't seen Flashpoint?
No, the most I've seen with the Flash is like, you know, OG Justice League, like.
So you haven't
Snyder's
seen the
Cut Justice
Flashpoint
League.
Animated series, the movie that dropped in
I might have when I was a kid, but you know, all that was like, you know, like I don't remember that a lot of that, so I just had to rewatch it as a grown man, you know, and having to be able to take it in to appreciate it. So you got to cut me some slack.
Nah, you haven't seen Batman. You haven't seen Michael Keaton in Batman, so I'm sorry.
He hasn't seen Batman in some of his best lights. You don't get to speak on Batman no more until you get caught up, sir.
All right, that's a bet. But my last question for you, Jason, on the Batman conversation: who would you pick out of everyone that's wore the Batman suit to wear it forever?
He said forever. That's fucked up.
Who's Batman to you?
I mean, so currently it would have to be Bale, just based on right now. I would give it to Bale. I do feel like Michael Keaton was a better Bruce, but I do like Bale as Batman a lot better, just given. But I mean, Keaton gives you that nostalgic feel. But I'm gonna ride with Bale in
That's
that
what's
one.
up.
You like when Bale was like, "I'm coming for you." Is that what?
I mean, no.
I would say the most thing I'm looking forward to the Flash, like, and I keep seeing in the trailers, like, and I know a lot of people don't like the Ezra guy, but I think this comes back to life. I feel like we're really gonna like see how, like, you know, understand him in the movie, because like
Understand him or understand Barry? Because are we separating the person?
Yeah,
talking about the person.
Well, like, whatever he is, like, you know, he's definitely different, but I think we're gonna get a clarity of like the two, like what he's got going on to what he's gonna bring to the screen, you know, because the trailer's been like weird. Like, it's definitely two different flashes, like from him pointing in the street and all that. Like,
so you haven't go watch Flashpoint, then hit me up, then we can talk. Because it's not. I mean, that's the easiest thing actually. It's Barry time traveling to fix some shit in his life, which you ain't supposed to do. So,
right.
Like it's that.
So you know what's gonna happen.
I mean, I don't know what's gonna happen, but I know the gist of the story. It's one of the best DC stories.
The Flashpoint. I'm watching that shit tonight.
Yeah. I don't think it'll be exactly like the animated series, but a lot of elements, like you said, Jason, will be in this movie, because you see that with Superwoman. So she was in the animated movie, and she
wasn't.
She was.
I
She
was
wasn't.
watching What to
You want
Know
to bet?
before.
Wait, no, hold on.
When you think of the Flash, the Flashpoint.
It wasn't her. It was Superman. He just
Oh
was
shit, you right. He was just
I know.
skinny.
Stop fucking playing with me with the DC conversation.
Whoa.
Stop
Jason,
playing
relax.
with me with DC conversation. No, she
Breathe.
wasn't in there. Kara L
Breathe.
was not in there. And I watched Supergirl as well.
On the CW.
I did.
Are you talking about the girl that's gonna be in the Flash, right?
Yeah, Supergirl.
Does she have something previous
She does not, but there is a TV show about her character. Yes.
about just like what's up with her?
Yeah, just what she doing. Why she came. Like she's older than Superman. But because of how she was sent across the earth, she got knocked off her trail to the
Her
earth.
route.
So Clark, when he made it, he aged up before she did. So that's how that.
So like where
he
that's
was-
gonna take off in the Flash, like is she taking over Superman's story or does she have her own story?
She has a completely different story.
Okay.
So
Like
the
why
way
she's locked up and shit.
So technically, I'm gonna say so. So that part, that's a different thing. Like in the Flashpoint movie, it's Superman, but it's a completely different story. And he's under the red sun. So they get their power from being under the yellow sun. That's where it comes from. So in their planet, they're just normal niggas. But when
Right.
they in our planet, when the yellow sun gets on them, they become super niggas.
Right. No, I get what you mean though. Melanin.
And then in the real story is Superman gets sent to the earth because they're trying to protect him from dying. Superman's story.
Yeah.
So they sent somebody to protect him. It was Kara. They sent her, but she got knocked off her trajectory on her way to Earth. So she never, by the time she made it, Superman was that nigga. So that's what happened with her.
Got you. And we just don't know shit about her because she's been locked
Don't
up.
know nothing until they started. Like, you never watched Young Justice?
Yeah, I have seen that. Yeah, that was like young kid days though.
Got you. So you should watch Young Justice as well. That tells a nice story in there as well. But yeah, man, I'm super in tune. So
I can't wait. It's gonna be a great summer.
So what are you looking forward to this summer?
Man, I would really say
2 movies and 2 shows, because you asked us, we didn't ask you.
all right. My 2 movies, I would say on Amazon Prime, Captain Fantastic. I think everybody needs to watch that one time. I've been really hype on that. Captain Fantastic. It's about this. It's a movie about this guy. He has 6 kids, but they live in literally like outside and stuff. But his wife and her family has like all the money in the world, but they'd rather live outside and like in the outskirts of like the Karens and people of the world to have what they want to be happy and stuff. And the wife ends up growing sick and dying and stuff, and they adventure to the funeral. They end up leaving home to go to the funeral, and the whole story is a journey, man. Like I have not like watched a movie that's impacted me like that. So Captain Fantastic, I think everyone needs to watch that one time. And second movie I would pick. Ooh, what have I watched that's fire? Top Gun Maverick. A lot of people still haven't watched that. You need to watch Top Gun Maverick. That's the number 1 on my all-time movie list. Went to the theaters 5 times in 3 weeks to watch it. That's just awesome. Like visuals wise.
The nigga was into it.
That movie was fire.
Are you a big Tom Cruise fan?
No,
I'm gonna ask because Jason is also a big Tom.
He's not. He took.
I'm really not like.
Nah, he's not.
So I'm really not like Top Gun. Like I went to. That was a great third eye experience for me. Like I went
when you seen that movie. Had you seen the original?
Okay, so look, when I bought.
No, it's a no.
No, I haven't. No, look,
I know.
I haven't.
I can tell.
My Top Gun moment was a true experience. Like I was going to watch Doctor Strange in the Multiverse, and I was in the third eye world. Like you know what that is. So like I was just sitting in the trailers, and the first trailer for the Top Gun came out, and I watched the whole trailer. I got on my phone and bought tickets right then. I was like, hey, that's gonna be fire, yo. So I bought the tickets to the Tuesday national world premiere before the Thursday, and I went by myself. And man, like so I watched the first Top Gun the Sunday before that, and I just never had a movie experience like that, from like the visuals, like the less use of CGI and stuff that we see in all the Marvels and stuff. Like Top Gun was just really polished, And I think like, yeah, it just sat there for me. And I had to go to the movies like 3 times to like make sure I was really there to see what I was watching. And it was. So I was like, yo, like this is the shit. And that's what made me a Tom Cruise fan. So I'm not a Tom Cruise fan. Like I'm just becoming a Tom Cruise fan.
It's apparent. It's
but
clear.
you did see the first Top Gun before seeing the second one.
Yes,
So
100%.
okay, so you were able to have a different experience. Jason
Yes,
was
for
trying
sure.
to get to. Did you see the first one before the second one? Because
Yes,
that's what
I
I
did.
did. That's what I did. I did not. I still haven't seen the first one.
Oh, you
don't
definitely
have
didn't
to.
enjoy it.
You don't have to see the first one to
No,
enjoy the
but
second
but
one
you know
because they doing good.
sometimes I know that I don't mean to cut you off, but I know that like
Okay.
once you see the first one, those callbacks, those Easter eggs, you will
Mhm.
Oh,
see them
100%.
in sequels. So it's kind of like a disadvantage for myself. So I should go back and see the first one. I don't know,
Yeah, you should
but
definitely watch it.
But
I
that's what
say
that's great storytelling to me. Like even with the movie we seen in Across the Spider-Verse, you don't have to watch the first one to
No,
understand it, to get it, for it to happen. But like there are Easter eggs in it, but they regurgitate the story 8 times in the new movie, so you don't have to go back and watch it. Like
100%.
there's nothing specific that you have to see. You even see him becoming him getting bit, him defeating the villain in the first movie, and then them pushing the story forward. You don't have to see it, but I think that's just good storytelling. Like some movies, you walk into, you're just like, wait, what the fuck? Who are
Right.
these people? Who is these niggas?
Right.
Who are these niggas? And
Right.
That's one thing. But
In my 2 shows, I would definitely go. Because I was thinking about it last night. Heavy. I'm definitely gonna go Euphoria. Man,
ooh,
Euphoria is just fire. I think everyone needs to watch that just one time, and you have to go into that show with a different mindset. Like you have to get outside of yourself to get comfortable, and it takes that sometimes to really understand stuff outside in the world that's going on, like racism, drug addiction, um, you know, rape, people being transgender, all that stuff in life. So I feel like Euphoria brings that thing, true life, to the camera in every way. And I think that Zendaya, like, it's so powerful because I grew up with Zendaya since Disney Channel. So for her to go through Spider-Man and all that to now she's a heroin addict that I've had friends, die from, that's like something true that I could sit and resonate with, that you're like, man, this like, you know, this is why we appreciate TV and movies, because like, this is real life, stuff out here. And like, we really take stuff and inspire from it. And you should take Euphoria and, you know, take it and don't judge anybody from what they come from, because we all have our own story. So I would definitely say Euphoria. And damn, the last show, I'm gonna go Sons of Anarchy. Sons of Anarchy slept on.
ooh. Who's sleeping on that? They need to wake up. That movie,
Yeah,
that series was
fire.
incredible.
Man, like I was going through it when I first ever watched it. I'm like, man, I don't want to watch these white boys in these motorcycle patches. But
Yeah.
I promise by the end of that, I was like, boy, give me a motorcycle and a half cut right now, because I'm with them. Like I'm with all that. So yeah, I would say Sons of Anarchy is definitely fire. If you love storytelling and definitely buying through characters through a show, Euphoria and Sons of Anarchy is that show. So that's mine right now. And the movie I'm looking forward to this summer would have to be Mission Impossible the most.
yes, sir. Have you seen the last one?
Yes, for sure.
Okay, just making
Yeah.
sure. Just
Yeah.
making sure. Don't be out here.
Do you agree with me that like there's just too many directors on all the Mission Impossibles to really appreciate them, because there's like such different movies like coming throughout until like until we get Reckoning and Protocol, but they're still great movies, but they're all different.
They are. They're completely different. Like you said, every one of them is different. But it almost feels like James Bond. Like James
Yes,
Bond. Like
for
James Bonds
sure.
are different, but I appreciate that series as well. I grew up with them. Thanksgiving, watching them with the family was something that I did. So I appreciate them for what they are. I mean, beyond it being Mission Impossible, not like some people carry from the next one if they don't die, or whether they turn or whatnot when it comes to those. But I enjoy them. But
Right.
they get better as they go as well. So it's not you can watch them in reverse and have a ball.
Besides this dropping on the 6th, what is it good though got coming up? What I got coming up in the month of June?
Heat.
She said he. So it is June. So like I said, we got a lot of blockbusters, a lot of shit that's popping off. We going into our 1 year. That's coming up here soon. So appreciate everybody who's been listening, rocking with us for the year. So I think got Fast X. Fast X is coming up. That's the next
Have y'all watched it or not?
I have.
I haven't
It
watched
wasn't
it yet.
bad. Wasn't bad.
What that movie was pretty. It's up there. It might be
I
top
enjoyed
three. It might be top three for me. Top three in the Fast series, of course, but it's up.
Oh, I
Okay,
knew
okay.
you wasn't saying of all time because I was about to go in on you, sir.
Bro,
Can't go
someone
in on
ranked
me for
that
that.
movie above Guardians though. I was like, all right, you're tripping. Don't do
No, it
that.
can't be. It won't be up there. But like, as far as when it comes to that, like, because you have to think the fact. I don't want to get too. I don't want to go too deep into it. But when it comes to that, like, you got the first three movies are completely different from the last seven. So it's completely different story, completely different art.
I liked it.
Everything went
I
bigger,
enjoyed
but
it.
I enjoy it. But 10 is an enjoyable ride. It's because at this point you're just like, okay, what can they give us at this
Yeah,
point?
what can we, I'm here. I'm just
And they doing this. We doing White Man Can't Jump.
Have
I
y'all watched
enjoyed
it?
I did.
Do I need to watch it?
So
I haven't even watched the
are
original.
you so how do what? Say what?
I haven't even watched the original.
You might as well watch it. You
This
might
has always been like
to get it on your palate. You might. How old are you again? Let me.
25.
Okay, it's showing. It's showing.
You said how
So
old?
25. So you should. So yeah, I think you should. I think White Man Can't Jump. I think you should watch it. I think it shows you that everybody has a struggle. And everybody's trying to get it. That's a blanket as far as when it comes to original to the new one. The outside of the premise of it is
You can't take Jack Harlow serious.
No, not that. There's a black man and there's a white man in the movie, but like outside of that and them playing basketball movies are completely different. They're not
Okay.
they're not the same. And of course we're doing the blackening. That's gonna round out our movies for the month of June. And of course our co-host, she's turning 40 in a couple of weeks.
Oh, that's a
cap.
lie. That is cap. Nah, 20.
Well, like 30.
28.
He said like 30.
I heard him, but
28.
I was like, hey, that's where we at right now.
So before, all right, so what do Third Eye, what do you have going on? What do you guys have? What do you have going on at Third Eye Review?
So Third Eye Review, I just got a lot of Eye Umpire baseball, I referee basketball, so I got a lot of time to really sit down and do the podcast. It took time to get to that, but I'm to that. So I spend a lot of time on Amazon, Netflix, just I watch on an average like 3 to 4 movies a day because I only work Saturdays and Sundays. So if I'm not at the movies, I'm kind of just watching movies at home. So I got Across the Spider-Verse coming up on the 8th. I got this coming up on the 6th, so I'm gonna promote this like if it was my episode to get y'all booming because I definitely love you guys. So got that coming out as well. And then after that, I think I'm gonna go see The Boogeyman. I'm really excited about that. That looks good. Like, have you guys watched it yet?
I've been hearing reviews, and it's it's not too good. But I am an advocate of go see stuff for your own.
Yeah, for sure.
Because everybody got different tastes. But
yeah,
I didn't really
see
hear
The Boogeyman
things on it.
I'm gonna see The Boogeyman and then Transformers next week for sure. And then I'm gonna have Across the Spider-Verse will drop before that on the 8th. And then I have The Boogeyman and Transformers, and I'll probably see Elemental to be the third movie that dropped after that. And then I'll probably wrap up my June, and then I might go watch some more movies at the end of June and wrap that in July, but we'll wrap that more towards in July. I think I'm gonna take a break around July 4th and enjoy summer for like a week or so and go watch Oppenheimer on the 21st. And Third Eye just kind of chilling.
Barbie might be my first watch that week when they
over Oppenheimer.
Over Oppenheimer. Yeah.
Well, so in St. Louis, we're one of the 25 theaters that are showing it in 75 millimeters. So I'm definitely got to go see that. So that's like a one in a lifetime experience. So
yeah, see, we ain't got all that down here, so we ain't got to worry.
I
We ain't got to worry about looking at it outside of IMAX. There's nothing.
but I was thinking about it
75.
Yeah, I got you. But I was thinking about it last night. Like, you know, sometime when I get busy, I do plan on taking a vacation. So I don't know if you guys all link in sometime. So I think you know, something in person, you know, video style would definitely be dope. And let's let's vibe it out and catch some vibes because I rock with y'all for sure. And keep doing
Yeah,
what you guys are doing for sure. Like the pod world is work, but you know, it's you feel it each day, you know. So just keep it's a journey, you know. It's a journey and y'all know what you're doing. And was it good though? It was fire. And I love you guys' podcast. Across the Spider-Verse was fire. And you guys are fire. So just stay you through all of it, you know. That's all I can say.
That's a fact. One thing before we go, we always do touch on is what is it? Fuck. Oh,
Link of Thrones.
Link of Thrones. So Link of Thrones is where we pick a character from the movie. But we put you on to something that they're on. So it's kind of like what you said, like give me 2 movies, 2 shows, but we pick somebody from this and something that was in previously. So now since you were a guest, and I don't know if you're prepared for this or not, but I'm gonna let you go. We'll let you go first. You just pick a character from the movie, and something that they were in that you enjoyed. Well, I say that you enjoyed was just something that you know that they were in.
So like, okay, for reference, like if I picked Across the Spider-Verse, would I have to pick like Shameik Moore from Dope?
That would be one that fits. Yes.
Okay,
so
I got you. Okay. So it can be any movie though.
It could be any movie, anything that they did that you know of or that you want to know about.
Okay. I think a good one off the top would be 50 Cent and Den of Thieves. I feel like that's
Wait. Time out. 50 Cent ain't in this movie, so why you pick 50 Cent?
Okay, I asked that if we're doing Across the Spider-Verse.
50 Cent in here?
No, if we're talking about Across the Spider-Verse. We're doing Across the Spider-Verse Link of Thrones?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. So yes.
Okay, I thought okay.
Yes, I'm sorry. Okay.
That's what I was asking.
Okay, my bad. I heard it. That's on me. Okay. So yes, somebody from the movie Across the Spider-Verse and something else that they were in.
Oh, okay. I'm for sure going Shameik and Dope. That's like one of my that's one of my top 25 movies. Like I think just the vibe, like the vibe he brought in Dope and what he brings to Across the Spider-Verse in the screen is why we love Shameik outside of being Miles, outside of being himself in Dope. It's just like, is what we love about voicing and being podcast too, voicing as Black people. So I feel like Shameik has been a powerful actor, in a lot of things. And but Dope and what he brings into Across the Spider-Verse, I think both of them mesh very well. So give me both of those. And then Kahlua and Get Out. Okay. So I think I'm gonna go with that because like where I live down here and just the people surrounded, I've stood if you guys probably don't know that about me, but I've hosted a lot of protests down here where I live for like the BLM after George Floyd died and stuff. So and a lot of these people are my friends and stuff. So like I lost a lot of friends. People didn't understand, and people thought like when I wanted to protest, we were coming to like catch fire to the town and stuff. So it wasn't about that. It was just getting people to understand why Black lives really matter. So I would take Kahlua and Get Out because like the whole sequence of that, like that movie being black and white and stuff, the relationship and all that, I feel like that just comes within the world of respect too. So I'm gonna take that too as one of my Link of Thrones. And the last one, I'm gonna go. I was about to say the dude that played Miguel O'Hara and take him in Annihilation.
Okay.
Natalie Portman.
Oscar.
Yeah.
I gotta watch. That's on my watch list. I haven't seen.
You ain't watched that?
I heard it was good. Wait, you can't judge nobody.
Okay.
No, he can't.
Yeah, but if y'all like horror, you guys are gonna love that movie. Like I
heard good things.
Yeah, it's like
we're gonna peep it.
It's like a psychological horror, so you'll definitely watch it. Have you watched Hereditary?
She'd hate that. Don't talk about that. It's okay.
All right,
Jazz.
That's not even scary to me, but it's just like more like freakish,
Yeah, Jazz. What you got?
All right. So my League of Thrones, I'm going to choose Lauren Velez Actually, scratch that. I'm not choosing her. I am choosing
that the
Issa
mom?
Rae. It was the mom. I'm gonna choose
Luna.
Issa Rae. Insecure, which is
Of
Spider
course.
Woman.
Of course, of course.
Gotta choose Issa.
So you said you mentioned Oscar Isaac. I'm gonna pick his evil twin, or dirtier twin looking, Jake Johnson. This was Peter B. Parker. He was in New Girl. New Girl was real big, so I enjoyed that.
New Girl. I hear a lot about that.
That's a cult
It's a
classic
show,
there,
right?
man. Yeah, it's a TV show, cult classic there. It's on Hulu now.
Okay. You like it though?
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
Okay.
It came out a few years ago. It's ended now. So
What else y'all got?
that's it. Jazz, you want to wrap us up?
Sure. Definitely want to say thank you to Swerve for joining us. This conversation it was a lot, but you know what? I was expecting it to be where it was at because I figured we was all going to geek out because we had been texting each other about this movie for a couple of weeks and also this collab because we've also said like it's been a long time coming. You know, you reach us. We were just talking about like we need to get something. So I was just like, I figured Spider-Man would be a really good pick.
Oh, sure.
And I knew
Summer's
the
here too.
Right. So I figured like the conversation was going to be dope. Did you have anything to promote? Let folks know where you at?
Not really. Shout out at Third Eye Review. Make sure you can find my podcast on Apple, Spotify, but it's under the Barn Podcast. So we're kind of just a big hub. We got like 10 plus podcasts that drop through there from video game reviews. I got sports betting podcasts and all that, but you can find Third Eye under there. That's the Barn Media Group. So yeah, that's all I got. You can follow me at Swervo. That's my main account, but at Third Eye Review, all the movie reviews, and Daryl Buchanan on Letterboxd. So hundreds of movie reviews on there. So go tune in, baby. And I appreciate y'all for having me. Make sure y'all tune into Was It Good Though, because they're popping and I love them for sure. Just very natural talent.
And we definitely love you and appreciate you as well. Jason, was there anything you wanted to add?
No, man. Thanks for coming on. Appreciate you. Like I said, definitely gotta come on.
Y'all gotta come on my show too.
Oh, for
we got
sure.
you. For sure.
So I'll definitely plan something out because this is my second year in too, and I've just started going video podcasts and you guys have been inspirational on that. So I definitely got to return the favor. So we can talk and
whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready, man, you know the number, you know the chats, the DMs or whatnot. Just hit us up. We definitely here.
If it's gonna be the power of ghosts, y'all give me like 2 weeks to catch up. Like
have you started?
But look, y'all, you already know I had to start it. So like
she got to start in. She got to start back in. Did you finish Power?
I did finish Power. Don't do me like that. Look.
Okay, I'm just making sure. Sure.
Y'all real.
All good. We'll find some movie or something to watch. You know, we'll all go to the movies and find something to watch. But hey, we all linked in though.
Absolutely. Yeah. But thank you to everybody. Please remember to like, subscribe, rate, review. You know, we definitely gonna have Swerve tag so you can get all his information as well. Please check out our earlier episodes and look out for what we got coming next.
And go see Spider-Verse.
There you go.
Fire. Please get across there. Get to the theaters and see that. Amazing.
Fire.
And get your ass beat by that end credit cliffhanger. Cheers, everybody. We appreciate y'all.
Deuces.